Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to SportsGamer, and welcome back to the ECL's Elite Division. Our coverage for a brand new season begins right here and right now with this broadcast. My name is Tugi, joined as always by one Sin for the win. And Sin, what a season we are in store for this time out, as we have seen perhaps the craziest off season between games that we have ever seen in our time covering the ECL over the past couple of years. This could be really the most unpredictable season that we've seen yet.
Yeah, and I feel like we kind of say that at the start of almost every new season. You know, there's always a ton of roster shifts, team name changes, teams moving up into, the elite division, some teams being relegated to pro division and below, players even deciding to play for some lower divisions, maybe taking it a bit easier from a personal standpoint. But nonetheless, I mean, this could be one of the more wide open playing fields that we have ever seen in the ECL Elite.
Absolutely. And of course, stories about transfers and changes to teams very much in focus for our opening broadcast here today and our opening matchup as well. As you can see, it'll be JYP Vaskala and Heimo kicking off this season. A little bit later on, well, a championship rematch. We have seen these two teams go head to head quite a bit in the playoffs, and it'll happen yet again in our second matchup of the broadcast. Tunnel Vision taking on the newly rebranded Straikers, with a lot of familiar names, of course, that you'll see in that lineup. But Sin, so much to cover here. One of those things where it felt like a lot of the changes were right down to the wire. But let's get a look here at just kind of the situation surrounding the league. Again, a long way to go in terms of this regular season. Again, a 30-game regular season. And as we mentioned, a lot of familiar names, some new names, of course, teams that have rebranded. But again, this could be such a dramatic season as we go through it.
Yeah, and I'm really excited to see how the Polsky boys are going to do here in the Elite Division. They were fantastic throughout Pro, and got a chance to cover them in some of the playoffs as well. And I mean, they really play a nice style, but of course, that's NHL 23 with a new game. NHL 24, some of the mechanics are different. The gameplay itself, there's a whole new meta being created right now. And that makes, the beginning of the season especially get really excited, because in these high-level esports games is really where the meta sort of gets set into stone, and we're probably going to see it shift and evolve throughout the course of this season as well. But, I mean, yeah, familiar names, new names, and a lot of possibility for every single team here in the Elite Division.
I think you hit the nail on the head. New season, but most importantly, a new game. So for as many changes as we've seen with the rosters, the changes to the gameplay as well could be a massive difference maker for some of these teams in both the positive and negative ways. You get a look here at the schedule as we kick off the season today. Of course, some games being played off of our primary broadcast here that we will follow along with and give you updates for throughout today's broadcast. But I know, Sin, the excitement's in the air for the start of a new season. It's always going to be. And then, like I said, we have some matchups here that I cannot wait to see, because it's four teams that have very high hopes for this season. And our opening matchup, again, as mentioned, between JYP Vaskala and Heimo, really kind of personifies that.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially when it comes to Jyväskylä, they, a lot of kind of lineup changes to some important parts of their lineup. Antti no longer playing the center, former defenseman, and even before that, former forward at times. Jamal the Man will be slotting in for the center for them. Indy still on that right wing side, and now Tonkelia on that left wing side. And obviously there's going to be no numbers so far, as we are just kicking off this season. But you have to think, Heimo, despite, losing their winger over there, they did gain Aro. And I think he could be a huge boon for them on that left wing side. Kind of plays a similar game to Wade Ponnen and just high skill level, and I think that'll mesh with Emil quite well here, and I'm excited to see Jamal taking on that center spot here. We'll have to see how he does in that face-off dot, particularly in those kind of key draw areas.
That is our big focus for this matchup today. Is for the Heimo lineup, they do lose Ponanen, but gain Aro from Iipi, which leads to changes throughout both lineups, and we'll talk about those as we go through the position by position breakdown, kicking it off as always with the centers, as we have Jamal the man squaring off with Mickey's. Of course, Mickey's coming over from Roots Gaming, and Sin, as you mentioned, Jamal stepping up from defense last season, where he certainly showed his offensive inclinations, and now he'll get a real chance to showcase that offensive ability throughout the season in a forward position.
Yeah, and you got to think the experience on defense will help him be playing center, but you can't forget he's also a very prolific 1v1 player, so should have enough experience in the face-off dot. It's obviously a little bit different when you get into the sixes type scene, as it's an individual matchup. The same way sixes is sure, but it's 1v1 is sure, but at the same time it's a little bit different. I feel like the face-offs evolved to a much greater extent in a 6v6 setup because set plays are absolutely huge here, and you can do a lot more off of the draw, so that's got to be a huge focal point for him moving forward.
Of course, we talked about the winger battle here a little bit. The big story, Aro switching from one side to another, now alongside the captain of this Heimo squad, and Emil. On the other side is Indy, now, of course, still the captain for Iipi, now alongside Tunkelia, who comes over from Reality Check. And I could see a situation, Sim, where these two duos both have tremendous success throughout the season. There is some high level talent here amongst these four.
Yeah, absolutely. And on the side of Jyväskylä, they, have struggled at times to put up consistent offensive production. They can be kind of streaky, and they've always kind of had that reputation as a very solid defensively, but, sometimes not able to put the puck in the net enough. I do like the addition of Tunkelia on that left wing side, and you got to find the chemistry early on between he and Indy. But I mean, when it comes to Otto and Emil, that's a recipe for high flying offensive prowess. Otto very good on the sticks. We know what Emil can do. I mean, he had terrific chemistry with Ponanen, and so really, I think it's going to come down to how quickly can they cement themselves and get that chemistry going and find that offensive touch.
Like you mentioned, both teams with some big departures from that forward position. They have some things to work out. We'll see who gets off to the better start. Taking a look at the defensive matchup here as well. Again, for Yip, it is Landstrom and Carcass as the duo now, with Carcass coming over from Mayhems after the prior season. But for Heimo, it's a rather interesting story here because it's Sada Poika and Sakam, who were both a part of the squad last season. But Sada Poika on the defensive side of things is an interesting change for them.
Yeah, it really is. I loved him as a center when he made that switch, and it's curious a bit to see him on that left wing side. But again, there's a lot of position changes, especially when you move from game to game because of kind of how different it can be. And so I'm curious to see how Sada Poika works out on that back end. Sakam, he's been there pretty much forever, always a solid kind of shutdown type guy, very physical as well. And I think the question mark for Jyväskylä is, Karkas and Landström as a pairing, obviously don't know much about them, and more fresher faces when it comes to, the experience side of things here in the elite division. So again, it's a whole new season, a lot of possibility too, but that possibility can go in either direction. People have got to react quickly because one little slump, one bad stretch can sometimes doom a season.
And of course, with that, we get to the goaltending duel here. Both players returning to their clubs after last season, looking to provide that familiarity, that stability between the pipes, Kazu and Vamo. And both of these guys, when they are on their game, I mean, they can be that X factor for some already incredibly talented teams. We've seen it, especially from Kazu in playoff scenarios.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Kazu in the playoffs is sometimes feels like a cheat code at times. And, Vamo was seemingly last season a human highlight reel. Some of the saves that he was making were absolutely tremendous. And obviously, both goaltenders going to want to start off the season in the right way, make some key saves, face enough shots so they can get kind of dialed in as well. And also, they're both hunting for the W.
So with that, we are just a few moments away from puck drop on a brand new season here at SportsGamer. The ECL Elite Division, the highest tier of competitive play in the EA NHL 6's scene. And of course, as we mentioned, 30-game regular season feels like a long way to go, but as we know, it goes by rather quickly. And since certainly, as we've kind of talked about throughout this preview and building up to the matchup here, NHL 24, a drastically different game in some ways than what we had seen previously with NHL 23 and perhaps even beyond that, of course. And that's going to be the big thing, right? The familiarity with these teams and how well they have really adapted to what NHL 24 is and how to be successful on this game. We're going to see rather quickly who has taken to those new aspects of the game, and maybe those who haven't and might struggle a little bit out of the gates.
Yeah, and we talked about this a bit before, NHL 24 even dropped when the changes were sort of released, and how we were quite excited, initially for that pressure system, just to see how if teams would stop doing that, sitting back, especially the collapse. You can still collapse, but you can't make that your entire defensive strategy. Otherwise, you're going to get hit with that full pressure, and players at this level are going to make you pay for that. So I'm assuming we're going to see a little bit more forechecking, a little bit more drive to try to keep pucks alive in the offensive zone, which I think could made for, just way more exciting hockey, so to speak. But at the same time, these guys are obviously professionals, and I'm sure they found ways to play to their strengths and in ways that they would like to. So I'm just very excited to see what this new meta is going to be, how teams have adjusted, and what the ECL is going to look like here in NHL 24.
Again, you have those changes to the team lineups, and as we mentioned, a lot of changes there. I feel like we can't sell you on that point enough. There has been some craziness, as we always say, between seasons, but again, perhaps this season even more so. And then all the changes to the gameplay as well. As we said, we will see who adapts as we move on. And again, getting ready for the first game of two between these two teams a little bit later on. It is Tunnel Vision taking on Straikers, as again we kick off a brand new ECL season. Elite action today. We have pro action tomorrow as well. Very busy times for us here at SportsGamer with the start of this new season. And Sin, overall, when we talk about these teams in particular, maybe just the league as a whole, you do still have those favorites. We saw that quite a bit throughout the last 24 hours or so, as the charge was kind of led by Sile on Twitter, an elite veteran, making the charge with the winter tier list for this season, as we saw a lot of members of the elite scene and just the community in general kind of giving their thoughts on really the balance of power within this division for this season. And speaking to Yippee Voskala, they were consistently viewed as like, yeah, this is absolutely a playoff team. And certainly Heimo in that mix as well. But there were some differing opinions, to say the least, and not necessarily opinions of people who are looking to maybe just kind of spice things up a little bit, maybe get a little bit of trolling in there. I think there are legitimately drastically differing opinions on what teams will find themselves in the playoffs at the end of this 30-game regular season.
Yeah, and with every new game that drops, every new season too, but especially for every new game, I feel like there's this immense opportunity for new teams and new players to sort of make that next step. And sometimes the longer you play, the older you get, so to speak. Some of that drive to learn new things can slip. You get so used to a certain kind of style, you get so used to a certain type of gameplay that sometimes those adjustments can be more difficult, and sometimes the ones who jump on it early and get in there are the ones who just sort of had those surprising seasons. But I'm sure these guys have scrimmed each other throughout the course of the offseason, or at least met up through public matchmaking. I mean, And we know there's a lot of EA NHL players, in this sort of region with their server, but at the same time, there's only so many, especially when you get up to that higher level. So I'm sure they've all been playing each other. I'm sure they have an idea of where they think they're going to be, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot of hidden strats. I'm sure, there's a bit of sandbagging going on in those things. It's like, okay, well, season's almost here. We don't want to tip our hand here. So let's keep some of the face-off plays in our back pocket. Maybe some of our strategies here will play different. And, the time for that's over. Season's begun. We're going to see it all laid out on the table here.
New year, new game, plenty of opportunities to, continue that shift of the balance of power within the league. Last year, it was Tunnel Vision's game, NHL 23 to say the least, but NHL 24, well, that crown is still up for grabs. And again, as we wait for the kickoff for our new season here, again, game 1 of 2, JYP Voskala and Heimo coming up in just a matter of moments. Like we said, throughout the week, we'll have coverage for you here, not just of the Elite Division, the Pro Division as well. We'll be kicking off tomorrow, and we'll be on the call for that one, as well as we get yet another look here at the lineups as we await for the start of this one. And again, Sin, just exciting times. We've talked about the Elite Division, that Pro Division as well. Very promising, as we have a lot of teams who are looking to take that step up and who genuinely think, and rightfully so, that they could find that, stability within the Elite Division.
Yeah, absolutely. And as I mentioned, it's a new game with new opportunity here. It's really all about adjustment at this point, and which teams have really taken to the changes so far. And obviously, the changes throughout the game aren't going to stop right now either. It's going to continuously evolve, especially over the coming months as well. So it really comes down to adjustment and things. But finally, here we are, matched up. The moment has come at last, and I will always be jealous of that ping.
Yeah, solid 12. We've seen it be lower at times as well, to say the least. But indeed, ready for this one. No real surprise for me, Sin. Puck moving defenseman, still the go-to player type for essentially everybody except for playmakers down the middle. That has been a very common approach from the EU scene for a long time, prioritizing that extra maneuverability, the skating. We've heard a lot of pro players mention that. Elite edges, feeling like that should just be the skating the way it is. We did mention, of course, the Pro Division, our broadcast coverage kicking off tomorrow with these two matchups here. And Gotham Knights, maybe a team to watch out for. They have quite a bit of history within the ECL. Excited to see them in action. Again, the Pro Division kicks off tomorrow. Sin will be on the call alongside our broadcast partner, Mr. B Major. So make sure to tune in tomorrow for that one. But for now, we shift our focus to the Elite Division. A new season kicks off here. The NHL esports scene. JYP Voskala taking on Heimo, and we'll see who can really kind of find that breakthrough early on. As Sin mentioned, a lot of potential changes to strategies for this season. It's a good interception there. Will reestablish puck possession for JYP, and we'll see just how it works out in terms of that blue line trap, and it works out well for Heimo. Good movement here early on, taking their time. Still 5 back on the blue line for Heimo. Be working the boards. Jamal now down low. Tried to go back to the point. Aro able to intercept. Jamal's there to win it back. It's finally Heimo trying to get that stability in the offensive zone. Good bump there. Tunkelia's short side opportunity. That one's kept out.
Wow, loving
there. Go ahead. Yeah, this puck will go all the way down.
Yeah, I'm loving the aggressiveness of the D right here. You're seeing them pinch up to the half wall quite a bit here, and that's just to try to, take some risks, try to box them into their zone. And you're seeing kind of, the adjustment to that pressure system.
Satapoika comes away with that one. Couldn't get a clean exit. Emil, again, the captain of this Heimo squad, able to get it down the other way. Short side shot, and a good stop there by Kazu as he's tested for the first time. Tunkelia over to Indy. Dives down low, kicks back to the point. Carcass pinching in. Takes his time. Tunkelia on the off wing. Low cycle, thrown in front. Loose puck, still in the blue paint. Loose puck. Satapoika finds it as that full pressure kicks in. but Heimo's able to get the puck out immediately.
Yeah, and they just kind of dump that in deep, trying to get rid of that full pressure, get their skating back. That does give an opportunity, though.
Forced across. Heimo able to get a stick on it. Kelly a feed as two players have the same play in mind, getting to that similar spot, and yep, we'll reset here. Already halfway through this first period.
Yeah, a little bit of a miscue between Jamal and Landström there, as they were both in the kind of the same location, as you said, and Jamal just didn't have that throwaway pass to the point right here, and now they're just struggling to regain that entry. But playing the puck position battle, it's really been all JYP so far.
The puck dumped in yet again. We've seen them do that a few times. Big hip check below the goal line. There's Heimo in control. Satapoika nowhere to go. Kicked back into the Heimo zone. Another big hip check there. Separates Sock'em from the puck. Short side. Bounces up again. Almost had some trouble in terms of rebound control. Mickey's trying to split the defense there. Jamal is back. And that could be a big factor for JYP's defensive structure this season, is knowing how solid Jamal is on defense. And playing center gives him a good chance to help out. As Emil tried that back skate. Unlocked that short side shot. Mickey's throws one on. Easy stop for Kazu. He'll play it out right back into the hands of Heimo.
Yeah, it could be dangerous there. They have possession once again and near full pressure.
Loose puck. Kelly is able to recover. They'll alleviate some of that pressure. Kelly recovers again. Threw one on. Deflected wide. Last second, Karkas tried the D-to-D pass. Emil picks it off. Here comes Heimo. Emil to the nets. The puck goes below the goal line again. Another huge hip check. We're going to see a lot of those this season.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That hip check making its return here in a big way to the NHL franchise.
A big way to say the least. We'll see how that how that persists throughout the season and whether or not that's changed, but makes for some interesting highlights.
Definitely, man, flopping on their back right there. But I was actually quite surprised that Jyväskylä avoided taking a penalty right there off that Heimo counterattack. I almost thought there was a hook on that backdoor position.
Low shot by Jamal. Good placement. Heimo was able to recover, though. Here's Aro again, formerly of this Jyväskylä side. Transferred over to Heimo for the season. Here's Jamal trying to go down the middle. Short side attempt. Stopped there by Vamo. Get the final 20 seconds here. Again, the time faster than what we were accustomed to for NHL 23. So we'll be keeping that in mind, especially in the third period. An offside call here with 2.3 to go. Likely that we get through our opening 20 minutes without the opening goal.
Yeah, and that's never a bad shot that Jamal took, just speed down and just put it to the forehand, try it quick on the short side right there. It's definitely a tool that you'll probably see a lot of people utilize here. Is sometimes you can catch that goalie trying to cheat to the possible backdoor, so it takes a lot of trust for those goaltenders to have in their defensemen to always hold that short side. It's one of the most important things that you need to do as a goaltender, especially in this iteration. We've seen a lot of kind of short side goals, particularly well before the goaltenders got their old controls back, especially with that tether system. But even after that, it was sometimes a bit hard to hold that short side consistently. So I still think never bad to continue to test those goaltenders' angles, and might as well get a shot away again. That's going to add to the pressure system. I think we're going to see a lot more pucks on net, and that's something that you and I, Tugi, have been crowing about for quite some time as well. Sometimes it is just better to throw one on, and now especially it is better to just throw pucks on at times than look for that perfect play. So some excitement early on, maybe not the shot totals we thought, but Jyväskylä looked great in that period, and Heimo's going to have to find some kind of way to respond because they weren't really able to get a ton of offensive presence.
The action, as always, brought to you by our friends at Kovalan Lakrati. The second period underway. Again, the first game of two in the regular season matchup between these two clubs. Again, a little bit later on, Tunnel Vision ran the show in NHL 23. They'll be taking on the newly rebranded Straikers squad, formerly known as Philadelphia, Frölunda. Eki and company ready for a new season, and again, still looking to get back to the top of the mountain. after a couple of close calls throughout NHL 23. But still looking for our opening goal in this one. Jamal trying to walk the tightrope. Aro able to steal it away. Can't find that follow-up pass. Dunkelia back to Jamal. Bumped off the puck. Good back check there by Mickey's. Aro has a little bit of space. Great job there by Carcass to bump that one away.
Yeah, just a huge positional play right there and positioning his defensive skill stick right where Otto needed to go to cut back and get a shot away.
Sockham not able to time it with his teammates. Offside call there. And then you kind of mentioned it for last season with Yip. They had those moments of some offensive inconsistencies. They looked okay through the first 20-plus minutes or so of this one. Still not able to find the back of the net, but those lineup changes, we'll see whether or not that's able to help them kind of unlock that offensive potential. Ball in the corner. Short side again. Vamo able to keep that one out. Lundstrom, the one-timer for Jamal. Good save there by Vamo. Most difficult shot against yet. Another big hip check there in the corner. Lose. Puck tried to go short side. A full pressure situation here. Thought there might be a penalty with how awkwardly a player went down. Another one-timer. That one just wide. Dunkelia for Jamal. Has it down low. Sadapoika's there looking to escape that pressure. Lundstrom keeps it in. Opportunity, pinching in, tried to go across. Defense read it well. 8 seconds left in terms of full pressure, and Emil elects to just shoot it down for the icing call. Great job from Yip to get established, but again, still can't find the back of the net.
Yeah, man, that one opportunity that Dunkelia had, he had that short side wide open. Vamo was down in the butterfly. He just couldn't get that shot away, and a few other close calls.
Big face-off win here for Heimo. Puck nearly turned over. Aro held up down low. Akam finally able to find Mickey. Stretch pass. Lundstrom's there to take it away. And again, Yip right back in on the attack. Good read there by Emil on the back pressure. Here goes Aro. Sockham trying to close him down. And he does. Another great defensive play there by Sockham.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, Aro, that's 2 close calls that he had that was really cut off tremendously by the right D-man there, Kerkis. And Yip is just all over the ice right now, it seems. Offense, defense, transition. They're really just boxing Heimo in.
I will say for Carcass there on that great play. I mean, hey, Sockham-esque in the way that he closed things down at the very least. And he's made a couple of those plays so far in this game. For that matter, Sockham has as well. Easy to confuse the two. They've been pretty staunch defensively.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, for Aro in particular, like that's such a tough situation because, you know, you're coming off that full pressure. He was able to save up a little bit of stamina, which gave him that early jump. It's just he couldn't make the move that he necessarily wanted to because Garkas did such a good job of getting back and most importantly, closing off the angle and limiting the options that Aro had as we have an icing here with 5:07 remaining in the second.
And then yet another icing call here against Heimo as well. They've kind of shown that willingness to throw the puck all the way down when they have to. Happens here on the face-off. Clean win for Jamal. Gets it back. That shot. Puck bouncing around. Poika able to settle that one down. Breakout pass off the skates. Aro able to recover. Down low in the corner. Carcass there one more time. Has possession. Great little pass there. Free space down the other way. Dunkelia. And a centering feed. Not quite where he wanted it to be. Dunkelia has it one more time here. Between the legs. Kicks back to the point. Lundstrom for Carcass. Shot and a glove save by Vamo. Looked like he was thinking about setting up that one-timer. Takes the shot himself and a good save.
Yeah, I was just going to, call that out. He had that one-time option, but elected to shoot, and I don't dislike that. He just crept in for a better, shooting position, and, good save by Vamo, but I do like the decision to just, try that shot out instead of go looking for that one-timer, because they've shown that a couple times, and Heimo has disrupted it thus far.
We hit the final minute of play here in the second period. Aro looking for one more chance as Carcass missed the hit. Good help defense. Dunkelia trying to set Yip up for one more opportunity. Lundstrom can't bring it into the zone. Case in point, there's Sakam to shut him down. And we go through the opening 40 minutes without finding our opening goal. And it's in part due to some big saves from Vamo.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, JYP has totally controlled the pace of the game up to this point, and they haven't been able to score. You said a big part due to saves by him. You know, some good recovery defense from Heimo, but if you're on the side of JYP, you want to be able to capitalize on all the pressure that you're getting, the passes as well. And they haven't been able to do that quite yet. And this is where you start to get nervous. You know, you've been dictating the pace of play. You've been getting the better of the chances. You look at the numbers, they're all in your favor. And yet you get that feeling where if you don't score soon, a bounce could be the difference maker. And, you know, pro players, especially no players, really want that to be the story of a game. But we're getting to that point in time here, entering the third period, and JYP Jyväskylä still hasn't found that goal despite all the chances.
You got another look there at that 10 ping, making all the NA players jealous, obviously.
Especially me. I'm in the 75 club.
There we go. Of course, I do see a lot of NA representation in the chat, and a big thank you to the boys for tuning in on this fine Monday afternoon, or Monday evening, perhaps, wherever you may be. Another short side shot there, as Indy tried to tuck that one home. Kelia tried to make a break to the boards, still has the puck. Indy went to go back to him. Lundström shot blocked down. Jamal, one-timer, another good save there for Vamo. Tunkelia's best opportunity of this game.
That was a beautiful, quick triangle play from the down low cycle.
As Aro tries to go across, bouncing puck, that one kept out by Kazu. You can't overlook Kazu either. He hasn't had to make as many saves, but he's had to make some awkward stops, which can sometimes be even more difficult than the high percentage chances that goalies are used to seeing.
Yeah, absolutely. And it comes down to what they're used to seeing. You're not thinking that you have to bounce left and right about 3 different times, but on that play, puck was like a hot potato in the most dangerous position on the ice in that low slot, really kind of between the hash marks right there. And you saw where he made that save. He was all the way over on the right-hand side of the net.
Sadapoika in control, as we talked about in the pregame. A big change for Heimo with him dropping back to defense for this season. Aro now tried to throw it on, deflected out to the corner. Darkus a little bit of trouble. Lundström able to get that one up and ahead. Where Jamal goes, finds Tunkelia on the wing. Has that puck down low to Jamal, and somehow, some way, that one doesn't find the back of the net. Heimo down the other way, and another good poke check by Karkasson. I don't know what that clipped off of, if it was post, if it was equipment. I fully expected to be calling a goal. Well, Heimo might not be done here. Short side opportunity. That one kept out. As a great counter punch there from Heimo after nearly giving up the opening goal. Game's opening up a bit. Karkas's slap shot goes just wide. Lundström wanted that 1T. The crossover. It's Indy down low. Tunkelia now takes the bump from Aro. Good grinding it out in the corner, and a centering feed will go all the way back down to the JYP zone.
Yeah, I'd really like to see Lundström shoot in that position. Try to cut across the goaltender and get a quick shot off, or test that short side. You know, the one-timer is not a bad bet, but it had to cross through so many different bodies to get there.
Emil, good job in puck protection here. Defeated down low. Heimo. Bouncing puck. Aro kept it in. Their captain, Emil, in the corner. Tries to get to the net front. A bit too much traffic to weave through. 6.5 minutes to go here in regulation for our season opener. Here's Tunkelia trying to open up that short side. Vamo able to keep that puck out yet again. Mickey's now trying to work his way through. Offside there as Sadapoika looked to make the move.
Yeah, it was a good idea for the zone entry right there, but Emil just picked that puck up against the boards, and unfortunately where his stick was positioned, the puck was on the wrong side of the blue line there, but you see a lot of that kind of crosses at the blue line, trying to disrupt the other team's trap, because the second that you get in the zone, you know, if you're able to get that psycho going, it can be much tougher for the other teams. Great dump and chase.
Arcus pinching in. Let's see where he goes. Right back to his natural position. Tunkelia tried to go across. Seen that quite a few times. Essentially the self-clearances for Yip in the offensive zone as they try to find the space they're looking for. Atapoika now. That pass off the mark. Another icing call against Heimo.
Yeah, and Heimo's just floundering right now. The pressure that Yip Jyväskylä is putting on them is immense, especially on the forecheck. They're doing almost seems like a 2-1-2 where they're dropping back at the same time so as to not give up the easy zone exits and easy reentries at the other side.
Aro gains the zone, sends it low as he takes a monstrous hit. Final minute of play, and again, does not slow down until 30 seconds left in the period, so less time to work with than previously. Lundstrom the opportunity, couldn't get the shot through. Kelia would hold on to it in the corner, tried to go down low, pass off the mark. Emil able to weave out of traffic, 18 seconds left, forecheck on for Yip, but it's still Heimo in control. Momentarily a scramble for possession in the neutral zone. Mickey's, let's see where he can go. Jamal's able to pick off that pass. As Jamal will send it all the way down. One chance for Lundstrom. He runs out of time. So close, yet so far. And Sin, we go through our opening game, the full 60 minutes of play. Without the opening goal, we head to overtime.
Somehow without the opening goal. Some of those chances if these goaltenders stopped were huge, especially on the side of Vamo. I mean, unfortunately for Lundstrom there at the end, I think he kind of got a little bit jobbed on the animation. He did a spinning forehand while he was on the backhand there. I'm not too sure had it gone in if it would have counted. It was so close to call. We don't have super slow-mo with a clock in the corner or anything like that, but just huge pressure being put on by Jyväskylä the entire game. And if you're Heimo, you look at your stat line, and it seems like it's pretty clear what you need to do is shoot the puck. But the problem is they haven't been able to establish themselves in the zone. They gain the zone, and if they move it to the middle, they're immediately swarmed by Jyväskylä. In the corners, they're pressed at the blue line here. Jyp is doing such a good job with their pressure. When they're pressing the offensive zone, they're switching from a 2-1-2 to a 1-2-2, depending on the situation, and obviously 5-man wide at the blue line and applying pressure to where that puck is. It's very good to watch.
Overtime underway. Good opportunity for Aro, but again, we see goaltenders holding strong. That short side post as we bring this first overtime here to you. We'll be with this game for as long as it takes.
Marathon Monday, baby.
It's back already. It took one game. We have had some doozies in our time. 3, 4. We've hit 5 overtimes before on a Marathon Monday, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a fun time over the years, and this season looks to be no different. Good job there by Jamal on the back check. And we'll see what Yip is able to do. It's been Heimo trying to keep up that 5-man trap as best they can throughout this game. Lundstrom getting booed every time he touches the puck for causing an injury earlier on. Emil along the half wall. Tunkelia now for Yip. Jamal making a break towards the goal. Tunkelia's shot. That one doesn't go. Arcus at the point. You can see for Heimo, they're trying to force those turnovers at the point, and they do. Here goes Aro, and it doesn't go. An unbelievable chance, the best of the game. Here's another. He drops back, and it's broken up by the back pressure. 2 tremendous opportunities for Heimo, arguably their best of the game.
Yeah, I think that was Lundstrom's stick getting in there. Such a fortunate play by him.
A cross off the side of the cage. A wide open goal mouth that he just couldn't get the aim. Emil's shot taken high. Kazu able to freeze that puck. How is this game still ongoing?
I mean, I feel like in this overtime, we've already matched the number of high-quality opportunities in the entire game so far. Just completely wide open action.
Lundstrom in control of this puck. They tried the quick movement to gain the line. Couldn't time it. Gonna come down to either a major mistake or a lucky break at this stage. Again, this is just our first game of 4 on this broadcast here today. Another big hip check there by Aro. Second game of the 2 between these two teams coming up immediately after this. And again, a little bit later on, it is the heavyweight tilts, Tunnel Vision, taking on Straikers. Aro makes that move, and it leads to an offside.
I mean, this has just been wide open action here in this overtime. I love what I'm seeing from JYP, though. They're doing a lot of dump plays, either hard around the boards or just, you know, dumping it into a corner. And with the dump changes, it was hard to kind of adjust. They have made some tweaks here and there. There's also a couple different types of dump you can do, depending on if you're holding the sauce button or that normal pass button as well. And you're seeing JYP Vaskalo use that into their favor quite a bit throughout the course of this game. We haven't seen it much from Heimo. They're preferring to try to get the clean zone entries, but another turnover.
Kelia into the zone. Finds Jamal down low. Kicks back to the point. Lundstrom essentially gets chased out of the zone, had nowhere to go, and didn't want to risk another turnover.
Yeah, it's a dangerous spot to be in right there. If you're that left defenseman, you know, creeping over to the center and then towards the right side of the ice, there's no one really sliding up to cover that left point, and a turnover at that location can be dangerous. So offside right there is definitely not the worst outcome.
Emil immediately swarmed. Members of, 4 minutes to play in OT number 1. Garcus finds a breakthrough pass, and again, forced across the middle. Find its intended target. Lundstrom shot bouncing. Puck, they score! It wasn't pretty, but it counts all the same. JYP Vaskala take the season opener 1-0 in overtime.
Just, you know, a meat and potatoes play right there. Puck back to the point, shot with traffic, maybe a little deflection by Jamal right there, and indeed I think he gets it. He does get an assist on that play, and then just swinging at that puck. Both Indy and Tonkelia there just looking for that loose puck, and in the end, Tonkelia is the one who puts that one home. What a win right there. What a crazy game, despite the scoreline just being 1-0. That game was absolutely filled with excitement, large, you know, big hits, good forechecks. Saw the full pressure kick in a couple times on the side of Jyväskylä. But on the side of Heimo there, something that they're going to want to, well, forget the performance, but also try to learn from it. You know, throughout most of that game, it wasn't really till the overtime where they started getting those A-grade chances. They had opportunities to get them at different times, but it was always a back checker from JYP who was able to kind of disrupt that. Otto had 2 essentially breakaways that were disrupted by Kerkes, and that's just an impressive performance from Jyväskylä. But for them as well, you don't want to wait till overtime in a game like that to get the goal. You know, you pretty much dominated the play from start to finish. And this is kind of the storyline coming into this season for them. They've had trouble putting the puck in the net, and in this first game, still kind of the same struggles being mentioned here. That one just coming off the toe as well. Tough one.
A lot of contact with the netminder as well is what I've been looking at on that replay. Tonkelia scoring the goal. I'm a little bit surprised that one wasn't called back.
Game management. The confetti already fell, man.
Yeah, you can't call it in overtime. The confetti's already down. What are we going to do? Waste 20 minutes to clean it up and get it going? Dallas wins the cup. Come on now. Get out of here with that nonsense. But a big win for JYP. They get those 2 points to kick off their season. And we still have yet another game coming up between these two. So stick with us. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsor for game number 2 between these two clubs.
Minkä päällä lakukastiken maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi. Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi.
All right, everybody, we are back. A big thank you for sticking with us here between the games. Sin, you want to tell everybody the hilarious reason as to why there was a little bit of a delay between the games? Because who knows, maybe it'll be a slight factor.
Yeah, there was a gameplay update that everyone had to exit and download real quick. They've changed everything. No, just kidding. I'm not too sure what was in it. Maybe just a tuner settings. Who knows? Either way, we're ready to get back into it. What would be crazy is how if the game did visibly look different. This would be the first broadcast where we've ever had a major patch in between, but I doubt that's the case right here. Of course, tune in tomorrow where myself and B Major will be covering the Pro Division and some exciting matchups on the table as yet another season of our second tier division gets underway, and those teams, all of them got to be hungry to make their way into this elite division.
Of course, again, you win the Pro Championship, you earn yourself a spot in Elite for the following season. And of course, more than one team has the ability to get that promotion, but only the champions can guarantee themselves that promotion. With that, it is game number 2 between JYP Vaskala and Heimo. Here's Jamal, the man, right out of the gates. Opportunity, he scores! And how's that for a drastically different start between games? It took until overtime for the first game, and only 28 seconds into game 2, JYP are on the board.
Just beautiful execution off the face-off, sending the centerman screaming through the middle. He gets it poked off initially, but he sticks with it, gets that puck back right in that slot area, puts it by Vamo. And it's 1-0 for JYP Vaskala right off the bat, and that's not the way you wanted to start if you're Heimo. You just lost a heartbreaker in OT, and you're already down by 1.
A vastly improved start. Here's Jamal, yet again shot on. Saved by Vamo, who plays it out. He's the spin. Pass, not able to find its way through. Kelly up ahead for Jamal, 2-on-1 perhaps developing here. Quick passes, maybe a few too many. And the opening goal, you may have missed it. Blink and you would have missed it. Jamal, the man, kicking things off for JYP. First goal of the season. Pieces pass off the mark, no icing. Heimo still looking for their opening goal of the season. Kalia gets wiped out there. JYP still fighting for possession. They have it. Jamal to the point. Tunkelia, who has played defense in the Elite Division before. Loose pocket, sneaks over the line. Make it 2 for JYP Vaskala. The captain Indy finds the back of the net.
Right back to the bread and butter. What got them the OT goal right there. They work it on the perimeter. Quick shot from the point, just sneaks through that shot block. I was expecting him to move to get a different angle. He actually made the angle wider right there, but it benefited them. Indy with the shot away right from in front of Vamo somehow trickles through, and JYP Vaskala is up 2-0.
I mean, what a start to game 2 for them, especially with how that first game played out, but maybe they found their approach here. Imagine that. Puck's on net. Good things can happen. A kick save there by Kazu as he's tested for the first time in this game. Loose puck bouncing around. Crucial pickup there for Jamal.
I like the forechecking presence coming out from Heimo. Right now, you can see that in that 2-1-2 right there. Well navigated out by JYP, and here they come.
All centering feed was poked away. Maintains possession. Carcass, puck bouncing into the air. And Vamo's able to track it down, and JYP continuing to give Heimo trouble by getting pucks towards goal.
Absolutely, just immense pressure from them and staving it off from the other way. Just controlled breakouts. That's the key here. That feeds their transition.
Off the opening draw. Emil, I think, looking for the reverse hit there, and again, he definitely looked for it that time. Problem is, it doesn't really guarantee you anything. Lundstrom has this puck. Indy for Jamal. Back again. Great save. Secondary opportunity. May have hit the side of the net. If not, and if that was a save, we'll be talking about that one all season long. There is a delayed call here, and Yip will go to the power play.
I mean, this is just from bad to worse. If you're on the side of Heimo right there, your goaltender just made 2 monstrous saves, but delayed penalty, and it was tripping. I didn't quite see the infraction. Okay, just in front right there in the chaos, bodies flying all over the place. But we're going to get the chance to see the first power play of this ECL Elite season.
Happens on this draw, tie up. It'll be Heimo in possession. Sock'em carries around the back of his neck. Good cut back into space. He's only able to get it back to the neutral zone. Yip quickly regain. As Carcass in front. Great opportunity for the defender. Perhaps unfamiliar land. Lundstrom draws a penalty. Jamal pinches in. Puck is in. This one, however, is being waved off. Chaos in the offensive zone. As we see the interference there. They didn't get away with it this time.
No, absolutely not. And it looked like the guy who was all over the goaltender was the one who shot it into the net somehow. That one's definitely getting called back. But there is a 5-on-3 now for a near full minute.
Tremendous opportunity here for Yip. They have the puck off the draw. Lundstrom to Jamal. He scores! His second of the game, a thing of beauty. 5-on-3 power play goal. 3-0 Jypi Vaskala.
That is a disgusting angle, but even more disgusting was the execution off of that. Another tie-up on the draw. Both wingers coming in, not running to risk, giving up possession in an easy zone clear for Heimo. They both come in, get it back, right back to the point, and all alone down low was Jamal, who goes high, bar and in. Just beautiful execution, and still another near full power play to play with. That Jyväskylä has 3-0, and it could get a lot worse here in the first period.
It's still a lot of power play time to work with here. 1:35 on the clock. It goes from bad to worse, and it can still get worse yet. Lundstrom not able to keep this puck in. Emil able to get it low. Awkward bounce. Kazu will play it out. Still a minute to go on the man advantage here. It was a 1-0 overtime win in Game 1 of this home-and-home regular season matchup between these two teams for Yip. And here they are up 3-0. We're not even 14 minutes into the game as Mickey's able to clear. Tough break for Carcass.
Yeah, he read that quite well. Maybe a tiny bit slow to get over there, but just didn't get the fortune of the puck pickup.
We are back to 5-on-5. And again, remember, this is just our first matchup of our season opening broadcast here on SportsGamer. A little bit later on, a championship rematch. Tunnel Vision taking on the newly rebranded Straikers, of course, formerly known as Philadelphia, Frölunda, numerous other names. But a title contender, to say the least, heading into this season. Heimo not able to keep this puck in the offensive zone. As Sin, they really need to find a goal here to get some momentum back in their favor, heading down into the second period and beyond.
And that's just right. That play right there kind of goes to show the fortune that they had. Sauce pass off the wall. Looks like a good zone entry, but it bounces off the skate of Otto.
Here he is. He had some great chances in Game 1. His pass off the mark. Icon pass in there to get it to Tunkelia, who will draw yet another penalty. Sada Poika going to the box. And Heimo just have not been able to find their footing in this first period.
No, they seem a little bit out of sorts. I mean, even then, that was nearly an odd man opportunity, which created, that angle that Sada Poika had to poke at. And because he was at that sort of awkward angle right there, the stick gets caught up in the feet. Yet another power play coming here for Jyväskylä.
Off the draw, poke to the half wall. See now Jamal at the point. Carcass tried to find the captain. Emil has trouble. Carcass tried to throw one on. Aro able to recover. And try to make something happen here. Has Mickey's with them. Good spin. Fighting for the puck. Lundstrom able to come up with it. Now Jamal looking for the speed. Splits the defense. Flying poke check. Puck not swept in. as Indy tried but couldn't get all of the puck. Slap shot off his own man. Final few moments. 20 minutes of domination from JYP Jyväskylä and a 3-0 lead to show for it.
Yeah, and it's very similar to how they played the first period last game, except for they were able to execute. And that is the huge important thing that we talked about. You know, they need to find that execution. The puck needs to find the back of the net. That sort of trend has plagued them. Good defense, you know, offensive chances, but they always seem to struggle to finish. Not so much here, but yeah, even bigger domination in the first period and last game. 10 shots to 1, 2:30 time on attack to just 30 seconds. The power plays do have a lot to do with that, but Heimo here have just not been able to get into a groove at all, it seems, and you'll still be starting on the power play heading into the second period. And if you're Heimo here, you're trying to find a way to hit the reset button, but it just seems like they're unable to do so. Every single time they try to do a little bit of something, they're either getting shut down or a mistake is happening because of it.
The action continues here. Of course, it is brought to you by our lovely friends at Kovalan Lakritsi. Darkus, the centering feed. Good save there by Vamo on the opportunity by Indy.
Yeah, not a bad shot right there from Indy, trying to go back across the goaltender, predicting he may slide a little bit more to the right than he needed to, but Vamo really controlled in the crease right there. Really barely kind of moved laterally right there and made the save.
Clean face-off win for Jamal. Lundstrom the feed in front. Aro, good heads-up play. Finds Satapoika out of the box. He gets leveled by Carcass. And it's JYP right back in control. Lundstrom weaving through and really made that play. Indy held on to it for a little bit too long. Tunkelia tried to go back to him. He got buried for his efforts. Another great interception there by Jamal, the man on the back check. Trouble there for Lundstrom on the short side, and Kazu will cover.
Yeah, trying to get a slap pass away, it looked like right there, but the forecheck was a little bit too strong, and that's one of the worst places to turn that puck over, as you saw it precariously bouncing to a dangerous position, but fortunately, Kazu's able to get the glove on that and freeze play.
Face off here. Heimo unable to come up with it despite getting the more favorable animation on the dot. See where Carcass can go. Has it. Just to the far side. Gets it to Jamal. That shot broken up before it hit the intended target. And another instance of friendly fire. Vamo able to keep that one out.
I heard it hit off the post as well, so I'm just curious if it hit off that before going into the goaltender, if it hit off the goaltender then hit the post. Nonetheless, not where you want to be turning that puck over. And now we have an offensive zone draw here for JYP Jyväskylä.
Corralled along the half wall. Tunkelia trying to hold on to it. Arcus at the point. Gets it through. Good save. He's for Aro. Atapoika in possession. Good movement here for Heimo. And had too many opportunities in this game. Nearly dragged to the front of the net. Lundstrom trouble. Aro scores! There's only so many times you can make that mistake when Aro is on the other side, as he scores against his former club and gets Heimo on the board.
Yeah, just beautiful work of forecheck down low on the side of Heimo, and it's Aro the one who forces this turnover in that one-on-one situation. Excellent stick right there, just completely stops the pass, dead in its tracks, picks it up, goes backhand, beats Kazu, and Heimo begin to trim into this lead. It is now 3-1.
Shout out there to the unwanted crew for the raid. Welcome in, everybody. Mickey's the opportunity. Good save, and another one by Kazu. Again, it was a 1-0 victory for JYP in overtime of Game 1. They scored 3 in the first period. Heimo on the board as we approach the midway point of regulation, and JYP tried to get another one back. Aro has it yet again. Again, had plenty of opportunities in game one. Gets the goal. Kick off the scoring in Heimo's season here in game two. One goes over to the far side. We'll see what Sakam can do. And a little bit later on, we continue to mention a big heavyweight matchup. Tunnel Vision taking on Straikers, two championship favorites heading into this new season. Ball back for Karkas. Got that through despite two defenders in his face as he released that shot. Pass off the mark. No icing. It's up for grabs. Mickey's to Aro. Good poke check. And a wrist shot glove down by Kazu. He'll play it out as well. Mickey's the interception. Opening up opportunities for Heimo to get some more momentum here. Dip struggling now to put it together through the neutral zone. Aro into the corner. Lundstrom able to pick that off, and a shout out as well to Ekin and the Vesapampa boys coming over with the raid as well. Welcome in, everybody. 4.5 minutes to go here in the second period, and an offside call here. Heimo getting a bit more momentum after that Aro goal, but obviously they still have some work to do.
Yeah, a lot of work to do, but I like their aggressiveness, and it's interesting. We're seeing Vamo and Kazu play that puck out quite a bit, and it's seeming like an adjustment made by teams to try to get the puck out quickly so you don't accumulate pressure, but we're seeing a lot of turnovers coming from it as well, which I think, contributes more to some of that, near full pressure. There's Aro nearly forced the turnover once again here, and Jyväskylä not having the luxury of getting those controlled breakouts anymore with that Heimo pressure. Heimo, excuse me.
I mean, Heimo, what you gonna say? Mickey's in control. Puck in the corner. Lundstrom there again. Of course, he has had some trouble with the breakouts and the pressure. Arcus for Tunkelia still fighting for it. Kicks back to the point. Lundstrom shot. Rebound. Scores! Right place, right time, and the hat trick. Jamal the man.
Once again, Jyväskylä going back to what's been working for him. That's the third goal that's come off of a point shot from Lundstrom back there, and it's been working for him. Why mix it up? In that kind of period where Heimo was getting a lot more opportunities, I feel like, Jyväskylä was trying to force the middle of it too much. They would go down low and immediately try to find that pass into the slot, and it was being sniffed out by Heimo time and time again. That time, they do what was worked for them. Work the perimeter and then, try to get that puck to the net.
Atapoika able to weave out of danger. That will do it. Heartbreak for Heimosen in a lot of ways. They got back to within two, but the heartbreaking hat trick goal there for Jamal the man restores the 3-goal advantage.
Yeah, and again, I like seeing that. We're seeing tons and tons of adjustments by Jyväskylä as the game continues on. No matter where it trends, they make an adjustment and kind of go back to it. They spend a bit of time, trying to get those great chances from the slot. It kept being snuffed out, and it began to feed Heimo's transition. They go right back to the drawing board, work it around the perimeter, shot from the point, and then they get that 3-goal lead right back here. And in the final 20 minutes, the game is firmly in their hands here. They just got to continue to play the right way, and we're going to see, I think, unbridled aggressiveness coming out on the side of Heimo here, something that we haven't really seen up till this point, and it took a multi-goal deficit for them to break that out, but I like that I'm seeing it. I think forechecking in NHL 24 is very, very strong, and maybe even still underratedly strong here in the EU scene, as we know, the trap is still very prominent.
The third period underway. Let's see how it plays out. Yep, again with that 3-goal advantage. Going to close things out and walk away with 4 points to kick off their season. Boyka opportunity there. Good stop by Kazu, a broken play. Still got a great chance off, though. Sakam, good block, bouncing puck, and Kazu standing tall there. Full pressure for the first time in Heimo's favor. Not able to keep it in the zone. Great job by Indy, and now Jamal. Heimo trying to get back into the zone despite losing that pressure. It's still a good kind of building block for them. Aro wanted the short side. And again, Heimo continuing to get some looks and some opportunities, but still only able to find the back of the net once. Here is a 2-on-1 developing. Tunkelia tried to go short side. And Vamo was there.
Yeah, I like that. It was good defense to put him into a shoot-only position there, and he went to the forehand. I couldn't quite tell if he was trying to go short side or maybe sneak it through 5-hole. Nonetheless, Vamo makes the save, and Tunkelia goes crashing into the net.
Face-off win, good set play. Paddled away, though, by Vamo. Mickey's for Aro. Mickey's again between the legs, just can't pull off the move. Space here again for Yip as Heimo get more aggressive. Tunkelia poked away. Jamal back to Tunkelia. Ran out of space on the backhand. Short side scores! What a pass. The captain makes no mistake on the finish. And Yip likely put this one out of reach.
Just a beautiful play right there, and good play recognition from the man behind the net, Tunkelia. He saw that Indy had body position over his defender, and, you know, you see, I believe that's Sada Pojkic coming in there kind of last minute to try to disrupt it, but it was already too late. Just excellent work by Indy there to get the position that he needed for that short side shot. He beats Vamo 5-1 now for Jyväskylä.
I don't think we expected this after the result of game one. Mickey's backhand goes wide. Sada Pojkic not able to get that shot through. Has it yet again. He's along that half wall looking at his options. Finds Aro down low. He's bumped off the puck. Emil back for Aro. Good zone time here for Heimo, but limited to the outside of the defensive zone of Yip as Tunkelia tries to get that one in front. Unable to do so. 9.5 minutes to go here. Sock'em with a great move. Can't get that shot on goal. Mickey's has it one more time. Good bit of contact there. This one's going to be wrapped all the way around. No icing. With 8 minutes to play. Sock'em again tried to make the move. Great poke check there by Landstrom. Feed in front. He scores! Tremendous hands from Indy, and it goes from bad to worse for Heimo. Yip running away with it. The second player with a hat trick in this game for Yip.
I got to give a big shout out to Landstrom, not only in this game, but in this series. He has been phenomenal on every side of the puck, and that was all him. Jumping up in the neutral zone. A left defenseman, mind you, jumping up in the neutral zone, poking that one away, and then making the pass over to Indy there that put him in a situation where he had a scoring chance. Indy buries it, and Landstrom, I believe, that's about his 4th or 5th point in this 2-game set.
You know, we saw some of the struggles for him on the breakout. On previous points, that one off the post. And I think last year, another great chance by Jamal. You know, last year, NHL 23 represented Landstrom's kind of rookie seasons, the first 2 seasons for him in the elite division. And I think we've seen that kind of ability now to adapt and, you know, learn from those mistakes and certainly find his offensive groove. As a great goal there for Heimo as Emil finds the back of the net. Too little, too late. But again, we've seen the examples from Heimo. Like, the looks are there. They just haven't been able to find the back of the net.
Yeah, and I don't think they've been able to get the looks as consistently enough. You know, particularly in that first game, I feel like their high-quality scoring chances simply weren't there, or they weren't very clean. They were always getting disrupted in some way, and that was an incredibly clean look. The unfortunate part is, you know, they're in such a hole there. They got pretty much no chance to come back in this one. Building blocks for the future, sure. I would love to see them forecheck aggressively throughout the entirety of the game. They only turned it up here when they were down by 3.
It's here now. Indy leading the way. Tunkelia trying to get involved offensively. Again, even at this stage, talk about building blocks for the future. Talk about goal differential as well. We've seen playoff spots decided by goal differential. If you can get another one, maybe even 2, without allowing another one, good job there by Vamo to hold that short side. help in the future. This could have been an even worse game for Heimo, though, had it not been for the goaltending of Amo. He's allowed 6, but not too much he could do on some of those opportunities. A good stop there by Kazu. Heimo will have a power play here late in the game.
Yeah, so at least a good chance for them to try to establish themselves, maybe get one more goal. As you said, goal differential can, be a deciding factor in the playoffs, but more so just to kind of grease the wheels here if you're Heimo, right? Try to feel a little bit better about yourself, get that power play going early on, try to execute a bit more. This one is over, but we're going to see them try very hard on this power play to get another goal.
See what happens here as that puck fed up along. Intercepted, a couple of turnovers. We've seen that throughout the neutral zone, and more often than not, kind of back and forth plays do end up benefiting Vaskola. Tonkelia hits the outside of the post. What a performance from JYP here in this second game. Again, 1-0 in overtime, a defensive battle in game one, but they ran away with it here in this second game and take away 4 points to kick off their new season.
Just a beautiful job, a tale of 2 games, really, a defensive kind of battle where Uvasco in that first one did dictate the pace of the game. They got that big goal in overtime from a very simple play, shot from the point, deflection and traffic in front, and they pound home the rebound. And I believe they got 2 of their goals in this game off of that strategy as well. So, I mean, they're able to, that's a massive hit. They're able to do a little bit of everything here in this 2-game series, especially on the offensive side of things, getting those kind of dirty goals, getting some prettier goals. They converted on the power play. This was really just a near perfect start on the side of Jyväskylä. Their goaltender was locked in. Their defense for the most part was strong and steady. Their breakout for the most part, besides when Heimo started throwing that crazy aggression at him, was good. And that's how you want to start off. The 4 points is huge, but really playing the right way as well and executing to the level that you can is also what you need to do to get the good vibes rolling here early in the season. And hey, 2 hat tricks for Indy and Jamal. Can't complain about that.
Again, a great start to the season for JYP. You're right on the money, by the way, with the 4 assists from Lundstrom. Go figure. You'd be tracking just how many assists the left defenseman happen to have. But again, a great result for them. And our first 2 games of this broadcast are in the books, which again, we still have our second matchup here as we kick off this brand new elite season here, as it will be, again, a heavyweight tilt coming up in the aftermath of this brief intermission as we see Tunnel Vision taking on Straikers. And Sin, overall, very much looking forward to this matchup. And again, kind of seeing who can set that tone after some changes in lineups as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that is, again, we don't know what to expect yet. That's the excitement of a new ECL season getting underway. And that one, I mean, if it was last season, you expect Heimo to probably get 2 or at least, or 3 points out of the matchup like that. But Jyväskylä really came to play there. And honestly, for most of the time in that series, it was domination by them.
Fair enough. So with that, of course, first 2 games in the books. We'll be right back after this brief break for our second matchup of our opening broadcast.
Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi. Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi.
All right, everybody, we are back and just about ready to go for this second matchup. We're going to get right down to business here in setting the stage for this one because the two teams are ready to go again. Sent a huge matchup between Tunnel Vision and Strikers. Let's get a look at the lineups for this one as we have, well, an interesting aspect to this particular one as well. Of course, it is the season opener for both of these teams, so you will not have anything stat wise to talk about. But when we get to the lineups, again, quite a few changes for both sides as Tunnel Vision running with Vatu Kriketsi, who comes over from Goons, and Lightnin as their top options. Kriketsi replacing Moja, who departs for H-Reds. You have Tombo, the captain, alongside Wenger on defense. Of course, that defense pair that worked out so well for them last season in their championship runs, but a new goaltender in the form of Bennu, who comes over from Nordic Stars to replace the man who now sits in the blue paints for Strikers as Nikke comes over from Tunnel Vision to replace the retired Kape. We still love you, Kape. And Hanselinho right now, I believe, listed unregistered, might be a backup role at best. But Nikke's not the only big addition to this Strikers lineup as Piku Roger comes over from Goons, Kriketsi's former teammate there. So, I mean, this Strikers lineup, an influx of some younger talent, but proven talent in the elite division, to say the least.
Yeah, absolutely. And you and I both kind of had a feeling that Piku Roger, when he did make his return after this, mandatory military service, may be practicing with with the boys here. We were always seeing him when we were in Finland, hanging out with Eki, Potslav, and everyone else like that. And so good to see him getting the shot back in the ECL Elite and with this club. I'm infusion of young talent with some grizzled veterans, I guess at this point you could say, but. Also, I mean, loving the addition of Bennu here. This is a goaltender that you and I, Tugi, have always said he's already a major difference maker, but was always playing on those fringe bubble teams or teams that sometimes found themselves in those relegation battles. He is an incredible goaltender, and I think that he's going to fit well with this Tunnel Vision. No, it's hard to replace Nikke, but Bennu is a very, very capable goaltender. And on who we project to be a top team, we could see him hit his true potential.
And the fact, too, that, we look at the center matchup, especially, and obviously Potslav kind of leading the way here for Strikers, but Kriketsi is such an interesting addition to this lineup. Again, one of the most physical players that the ECL Elite Division has ever seen. And what might that physicality change for Tunnel Vision when, you factor in what their style has been recently? Are we going to see that more aggressive forechecking? Because someone of Kriketsi's style, laying the body in the offensive zone especially, can build up that momentum meter so quickly.
Oh, yeah. And, he's oftentimes, we've mentioned him as a wrecking ball, and he's played all over the ice as well. We've seen him, on wing, center, even on defense. He's just such a versatile player. And I think that versatility coming over here into this Tunnel Vision squad is going to be huge. I have to be interested to see how he does on the draws. I think if Tunnel Vision ever had some kind of a weak point, it was in the face-off dot. They were often able to get possession back quickly, but, you don't always want to have to be, trying to get possession back. So it'd be interesting to see the new kind of strategy for Tunnel Vision here in NHL 24.
We got to look, of course, at the winger matchup. And again, season opening set of games for both of these two teams, so we won't have any stats for them. But man, what a combination Piku Roger and Eki could prove to be. Of course, we have seen Eki work with numerous wingers over the past few seasons, whether it be Flyer Kungan, who's now his defense partner on that right-hand side, whether it be Pawanso, who was a big part of this team's run to the final last season, and of course, still a member of this roster. But on the other side, Vatu and Leitonen. This has been the combination that has, in a large way, propelled Tunnel Vision to again dominating the scene throughout the course of NHL 23. And they're back at it here for Tunnel Vision, keeps them very much in that championship favorite conversation.
Yeah, I mean, there's they those two guys speak for themselves. I mean, they, again, kind of was the influx of all these, younger teams making their way up, younger players making a name for themselves. Leitonen is one of the biggest ones there. And, even though at times maybe a bit quieter in the playoffs than we expected him to be, Vatu was the one who really stepped up, started lighting it up. So they are incredibly skilled. They complement each other well, especially when it comes to play styles, and they can both produce at insanely high levels.
Of course, the defensive combinations here, as well as mentioned, it has stayed the same for Tunnel Vision. Tombo and Wenger have been just so dynamic in what they've been able to do, dominant as well. There are a lot of descriptors that you could use for those two, but Nasustelia and Flyer Kungan on the other side. And of course, we talk about Flyer Kungan a lot. Sin, you and I were introduced to him as a forward. He's dropped back to defense, but in general, that Straikers lineup, Potzloff, Eki, Flyer Kungan, they have all played defense in recent seasons. They have that ability to rotate out and adjust on the fly, more of a free-form style of offense for them that can be very difficult for teams to deal with.
Yeah, it's difficult for teams to deal with. And I think NHL 24 is a perfect stage for that as well, when there's so much more emphasis being put on the cycle, so much more emphasis being put on being able to be flexible, keep the offensive play alive. And yeah, this Strikers lineup, you mentioned, they've all kind of played all over the shop. They're going to be good in their own end. They're going to be good on the transition. And I think they could be absolutely deadly in the ozone.
And of course, our last little head to head here, the battle of the goaltenders, and it's still going to be weird all season long. Nikke on the other side, squaring off against his former teammates that he found so much success with. I mean, goaltender of the year accolades for him. And now he makes the big switch. But as you mentioned for Bennu, he is somebody that we looked at to say, man, what can he do if he gets that leap?
Mm-hmm.
We've been saying it for years now. He was a part of YMCA Esports and so many other clubs, like you mentioned on the fringe.
Yep,
This is
unlucky
his
boys.
this is his opportunity right here to step up and say, I am of the elite of the elite. I'm not just going to look like a star goalie on a team that might surrender more shots. I can backstop a championship level club. Tremendous opportunity for Ben here.
Absolutely. And at least historically, the way Tunnel Vision has played in their style as well, kind of bend, don't break defense, it's going to be tougher to do that with the advent of the pressure system as well. But I'm sure they've developed a new kind of style with the speed and skill of their wingers could be a lot more open. And Ben is a great guy to have back there as your last line of defense, because I mean, essentially during times he has carried games for the teams he played on who were a bit weaker in the standings in the ECL. We finally get to see him. I mean, took longer than both of us thought, I think, for him to find his way onto one of those top rosters, but here he is, and we're going to get a firm look at what he's truly capable of here.
The regular season opener for these two teams, the two times that they'll go head to head in the regular season, but it could easily be a finals preview yet again with the talent on these two rosters. We'll get that first game underway in just a matter of moments again as we kick off a brand new season of ECL action right here on SportsGamer. Of course, the Elite Division, as you'd suspect, the best of the best going head to head. And I believe we can take a look at the standings here if we're not already ready to go. We'll see what direction that we end up going here. But obviously, as the results continue to file in throughout the opener here, it's opening day for most clubs, of course. SportsGamer.gg for the most up-to-date information as results are filed in. Of course, you see the second result between JYP and Heimo has yet to be filed in. An interesting start there for Mayhems. I don't know if that's is that mathematically possible? I don't believe it
no.
is.
5 points in 2 games played, 40 chess Mayhems.
So, some controversy from Mayhems early on. But again, while there are a lot of new names, there will be a lot of familiarity as well throughout this season as you take a look at these clubs. And again, just what this could be with the top 8 teams making the postseason. And of course, then we always talk about it. Those bottom 3 spots are the interesting ones. The bottom 4 really are the interesting ones. 13, 14, and 15 have to play a relegation series. And yeah, hey, if we sin, you know what? Turns out we forget about the new point system with 3 points. So indeed, it is fine.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the coward's way and say I don't remember being told. But thank you, chat, for telling us the things about the league that we're covering. We appreciate you guys, of course, holding it down as always. So yes, it is mathematically possible.
Fair enough. So with that, again, we always pay attention to those relegation spots as well. So there is that that we will look forward to this season, to say the least. And I believe we are about ready to go for this first game. And again, very intrigued to see what we see, especially too. I had to know for sure, Kriketzi, what would he be running? He is running the kind of meta playmaker center build.
Grinder or
Really,
man, come on.
I was really hoping that he was going to just run a power forward.
Look at double sniper for Straikers with make it snappy and gold 1T on the side of Eki. That's interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing that in action.
I mean, that's something that we always talk about, right? In terms of what's meta, it doesn't necessarily mean that that is what's going to be what is best for an individual player. We have seen people run their own play styles and have a good amount of success with it, to say the least. But again, pro action coming up tomorrow as well. Make sure to tune in for that as we see Sin and B Major on the call to kick off our broadcast coverage of our pro division. Find out who the next face or faces will be within the potentially the elite division. I mean, Sin, again, at least one club gets that call up, and it could be more than that. But here we go. The action is underway. It is Tunnel Vision taking on Straikers, with Tunnel Vision, of course, in the home dark uniforms for this first game. We'll see how this plays out. Again, a heavyweight tilt here between these two clubs. Potzloff for Eki immediately tries to throw one on. Good stop there by Bennu. The puck to the corner. Piku Roger to the point. Nasustelia tried to go back to him. Leightonen's able to pick it off. As Leightonen across. Good stop there early on by Nikke, robbing his former teammate in Vatu. Nasustelia gets it back at the neutral zone. And audio-wise, we'll work on getting that fixed and back up to typical standard. Eki for Piku. Roger back across and broken up. Delayed call here as well. Will be a power play for Tunnel Vision. Sin, I did not see
I didn't either.
The contact there.
I'm kind of wondering if it was maybe one of those net front things going for the one-timer and a bump happening that was supposed to be tuned a bit better. And yeah, it wasn't, because Eki was the one cutting through the back door. So Potzloff takes an interference call somewhere, and we'll have to see where that is.
We got to look at it there. And the bump in front, we haven't seen as much of that getting called since the patch that came out at the beginning of the month. But indeed, a penalty there. And it will be an early Tunnel Vision power play. Wenger able to throw it in front. Kriketzi, short side, scores! Vatu finds the back of the net on the man advantage, and a strong start for Tunnel Vision.
Exactly what they wanted, make your opponent pay for their mistakes, and just nice execution. Looked like an attempt to pass that first, but it ended up kind of being almost a down low pass right there. And yeah, Kriketzi tried to feed that across, bounces on a stick right to Vatu, somehow sneaks that one in, perhaps on the 5-hole. Nonetheless, 1-0 for Tunnel Vision here early on.
Again, the mistake from Potzloff leads to the goal. Audio back on track here as well. Thank you for sticking with us on that. And again, we'll see what the response is for Straikers. Great feed ahead to Leightonen. Throws one on. Nikke able to make the save. And And that's something I'm intrigued by in this particular game. Nikkei will obviously know the winger combination for tunnel vision quite well. What looks will they throw, and just in general, are the high quality chances they provide enough? Tunnel vision able to keep this in. Tombo, Batu, he scores, but contact with the netminder. We'll see this one called back, and you see it right there.
Yeah. That's a whole lot of contact right there. I believe that's Leitinen kind of trying to crash in the net. And yeah, I mean, Nikkei goes out of position right there as well. A lot of contact, and that is indeed getting called back.
See what happens here off the face-off. Eki able to drop it back for Flyer Kungen. Line Wenger able to stop that attack quickly. Here's Kriketzi, gains the zone. Leitinen scores! What a hot start for Tunnel Vision. Make it 2-0 in the opening moments of this game.
I mean, that is a picture perfect start on the side of Tunnel Vision right there. Just driving towards the net is Leitinen, picks up that loose puck, and with about zero hesitation aims for that far side here. You can see it kind of happen. They're unable to get around the trap right there. They try that play with the defenseman carrying it in, using winger as a screen. It doesn't work. Loose puck, Leitinen skates to it, picks it up, and buries that one in the top corner here. It's a bad start if you're on the side of Straikers, but it's, you know, it's far from over. They have a lot of time, but here comes Tunnel Vision once again.
Leitinen down low, tries to feed across. Potzloff's there to take it away. Turned over, Leitinen wanted Kriketzi. Battle for it with Flyer Kungen, gets it up ahead now for Eki. Piku Roger. Now Eki sends it down low, back in front. Good opportunity there on the backhand. Puck sent all the way around. Well fought on for. Kriketzi able to hold. Sends Tunnel Vision down the other way. That one ended up on net from the icon pass. D to D here. Wenger can't get that shot through. See where Potzloff can go, and the answer's nowhere. They're offside.
Yeah, did a little toe drag there before he approached the blue line, which did slow him down a little bit. Could have perhaps had a clean zone entry with Eki if they didn't go for that move.
Off the draw, Tunnel Vision back in control. Again, we talked about it. NHL 23 was their year. Looking to keep that story the same here in 24. 2-0 with 4 minutes left in the first period against one of their greatest rivals. Another offside call here for Straikers.
Yeah, it's good aggression at the opposing blue line by Straikers right there. You know, forcing that turnover, just unable to kind of create it into offense going the other way. So that's why we saw Uvaskil in the previous game kind of forechecking a bit deeper than that, you know, before they are able to get to the neutral zone. So if they do get the turnover, you know, the puck's already in the zone. We'll see if an adjustment's made by Straikers here as this game goes on.
Eki double teamed, had nowhere to go with that pass. Batu tried to spin to hold on to it. Get ready for the final 90 seconds. It will go by quickly. Flyer Kungen to Piku Roger. Piku Roger can go with it. Flyer Kungen down low. Good movement here. Flyer Kungen again to Piku Roger. Space was there. Defense able to break it up.
Yeah, just a beautiful block shot.
Eki can't hold it in the zone. One more chance for Leitinen. And a glove save by Nikkei as time expires. But what a great start. Tunnel Vision up 2.
Yeah, 2 big goals, nearly a third on that one that was called back, but all kinds of offensive pressure early and often on the side of Tunnel Vision there. And yeah, indeed, it did go through that 5-hole on that power play goal from Vatu here. And you know, on the side of Straikers, they looked good, especially towards the later parts of that period, but they weren't able to convert a couple A-grade chances, particularly that one from Piku Roger that was blocked in front, and that's what you're going to see a lot of. Wenger and Tombo, their defensive positioning is is incredible. I mean, they're great players in their own rights, but 50% of the game at times is positioning, and they were well positioned throughout the entirety of that period, really keeping Straikers to the outside. When they got towards the inside, big shot blocks or big pokes. So, it's still in reach on the side of Straikers, but they got to try to get a goal, start trimming into that deficit, and tighten up a little bit on the defensive side of things, particularly when it comes to playing mistake-free hockey. That penalty early on really kind of got the ball rolling for Tunnel Vision.
We get ready for the second period. As always, the action brought to you by our friends at Kovalan Lakritsi. First game of 2 in this regular season matchup between Tunnel Vision and Straikers. Vatu down that left wing side, finds Wenger, back to Vatu. Good block by the defense. Poked away. Tunnel Vision right back into the attack. Eki forced to send it all the way down. May have been accidental, but regardless, icing is the call.
And this could, again, snowball for Tunnel Vision here as they can create some offense. We'll have to see how Kriketsi's doing on the draw. I haven't got my count with me as it's still early on, but so far, right there at least, Potslav getting the better of him in a quick transition now for Straikers.
Poked away, Nasustelia trying to keep that one in. Eki does. Piku Roger around the back of the net, wanted the wraparound. It was a bit stunted. Gave Ben time to get over there. Leitinen trying to cut into the middle. Kriketsi there with them, chipping away at it. EK able to cover. It's our opening night here for ECL Elite Division coverage. You would have seen throughout the broadcast. Tomorrow, our Pro Division coverage kicks off. Be right back here on Wednesday. More Elite action as well. Now 8-5 off the draw for Tunnel Vision as Tombo fires at home, and Tunnel Vision adds to their lead.
The face-off battle is always important, but particularly those key draws that we always talk about in the offensive and defensive zone, and that's exactly why. Set play off the draw. Vatu comes in, gets the face-off, went directly back to Tomba, who blasts it from the point, goes for that far side, and Tunnel Vision now up 7-3. Or sorry, 3-0. I was looking at the face-off count right there to get my bearings once again. And with that one, Kriketsi, so already better fortunes for Tunnel Vision in the faceoff dot than perhaps they've had it at other points throughout their tenure here. It is just one game, but Kriketsi fitting into this team like a glove.
And again, what a great start here for Tunnel Vision. Had a waved off goal as well in that first period. And the timeout from Straikers as they try to figure things out here. Of course, it's a very tough matchup for both of these teams to start a season off with against the team that you could easily see down the road in the postseason. But Tunnel Vision right now, despite, major changes, you could argue, Sin, that center and goalie, the two biggest changes that you can make to a lineup. And right now for Tunnel Vision, it's looking about as good as they could have hoped for.
Yeah, absolutely. Scoreboard, one thing, but just their presence on the ice as well. I haven't really seen too many clean zone entries from Straikers, and that has a lot to do with just how well Tunnel Vision is playing as a group right now.
Set up ahead for Potslav. Penalty called. It will be Straikers going to the power play. Wenger heads to the box.
Yeah, holding, and I'm wondering if it was on that right-hand side, if he tried to get that board pin and just ended up grabbing the wrong person here. We'll get another look. Yes, indeed. He grabs the trailer right there instead of the guy he was going for. So big opportunity here for Straikers.
Don't want to say it's a must-score situation here, but certainly capping off and, kicking off a comeback effort this early into the second period would be beneficial. But here's Leitinen. Great save by Nike. As Straikers nearly get caught. And the puck cleared out again. A brutal start to this power play for Straikers that's already half over. Roger finally able to settle in. Thank you for now, Nasustelia. Good movement here. Bit too predictable, but they maintain possession. Eki's pass picked off by Leitinen and sent down. Completely disorganized power play effort. 10 seconds left for Straikers as they at least try to regain the zone. We're back to 5-on-5. Flyer Kungan scores. Brutal power play or not, a broken play leads to their best opportunity of the game, and Flyer Kungan has that season opening goal for Straikers to get them back to within 2.
And 2 of their best offensive chances in this game, this goal included, have come from Flyer Kungan pinching down from the point. The last one that he was involved with is when he pinched down, went behind the net, and that pass went out to Piku Roger, who had his shot blocked when he had a lot of net to work with. That one, yeah, broken play a bit. The shot, it goes off, hits a body, bounces right back to Flyer Kungan, but he cuts and cross and just puts that one home as that puck bounced dangerously into the air.
Potzloff for Eki. Straikers now trying to get some momentum going. Eki again. Scores! A snipe and a half from Eki, and out of nowhere, it's a 1-goal game.
Just like that, 2 quick ones right there, and I love that mentality. You know, maybe a dangerous chance at the other end as Tunnel Vision tries a counterattack after the goal was just scored, but Straikers holds with it, gets the puck down low, and then they get to work. They do some forechecking. They force that turnover down low. And, you know, after the play, and right there, you know, you see the first one forced, but Eki maintains possession, position. He doesn't just rush back to try to cover up. He tries to, you know, see if he can force one more turnover. He gets it, just rips that shot home, and it's a 1-goal game now.
Halfway through the second period, the story of this game has turned as saw an attempt to shoot there on the loose puck there by Eki, and another opportunity. Good interception by Potzloff. Can't get it on goal. The puck's still in. Otto, good patience. Tunnel Vision able to clear. Loose puck recovered by Piku Roger. Here's Potzloff. Tries to find Eki. He does, but the traffic is too much to maneuver through. Here's Leitinen now for Tunnel Vision. Sends it across. Good pick off by Nasustelia. The Straikers back down the other way. Good movement through the zone. Flyer Kungan to Eki. Stopped by Bennu, and he's able to cover there. Dangerous moment, though, as it took him a second to find it and cover.
Yeah, that was excellent defense. A well-communicated switch right there between Flyer Kungan and Nasustelia, which allowed Nasustelia to actually get the intercept on that pass and send it back the other way for an offensive chance.
As Eki sends that one over. Puck down low, rocket pass in front, still bouncing around. Piku Rogers' shot kept out. Again, chaos in front of goal, reigning supreme. The early games we've seen this season. Here's Eki, he's in alone, and a great stop by Bennu.
Huge save right there, and a timely one. Straikers really seem to have all the momentum here if they trim this deficit to just 1, and that's Eki one-on-one with Bennu, who stands tall, makes an enormous save.
Roger can't maintain possession now. 4 minutes to go in the second period. Wenger able to come up with it only momentarily. And Straikers not able to gain the line. Here's Leitinen trying to split the defense. Curls back to the point. Patience here from Wenger. Former defender of the season in the Elite Division as Leitinen just continually getting dropped. Numbers here for Straikers. Piku Roger. Poked away by Tombu. I mean, Tombo in general, I mean, he has been just the rock for this team defensively. He's been so good. We saw it there yet again.
Yeah, and he's just, you said it, I mean, you could throw out any adjective or any kind of simile that you want. Rock, he's just steady back there, and, you know, he can produce on the offensive side of things, but generally that's more of Wenger's thing. Tombo is just that guy, captain for a reason. He just does all the kind of unsung work back there that makes his team so good.
Final few seconds here of this period. A good chop there by Nasustelia. Flyer Kungan will look to kill the clock. And a great effort in that second period for Straikers as we have a game heading into the final 20 minutes of regulation.
Yeah, great response period there from Straikers, coming kind of after, you know, that third goal was went in, and they used that timeout, tried to recollect themselves, and it seemed to kind of work. You know, they started getting back on their game how they wanted. They were able to break out more efficiently. Their break-ins looked a bit better. They weren't going offside as much, and You know, they kind of just kept it simple at times. Nothing wrong with throwing a shot on, especially when you're that close. And, you know, for Eki, that's a tough angle to kind of bury that one from. But then, you know, you look at the numbers and it's an even game. I mean, it's a story of 2 periods. It was tunnel vision in the first period, Straikers in the second for the most part. And it's only a 1-goal game headed into the third. And this is going to get very, very interesting here. And it's good to see, you know, not necessarily a blowout. This one could have gotten out of hand early, but in typical fashion of this Strikers lineup, they stayed calm, they didn't panic, and they just got right back to form.
We get ready for this third period here. Again, as always, we mention the action brought to you by Kovalon Lockerty. Something else to mention here at this stage of the broadcast. We want to shout out a new feature that we have, sportsgamer.gg, or on social at sportsgamergg. Out to McSavid's Goalie School starting up this winter. Chance to elevate your game as a goaltender with some personalized coaching from one of the best that we have seen in the Elite Division. All the information you need, again, on sportsgamer.gg. Sin, it is a penalty here for Tombo, and talk about a tremendous opportunity for Straikers to tie this game.
Yeah, I mean, we were just talking about how strong Tombo is in the defensive zone, and now he's going to be sitting in the box. I didn't quite see the infraction right there. Nonetheless, Straikers, huge opportunity to get this game tied up. They got to convert. Potzloff needs this face-off win.
Off the draw, tie up here. Eki able to come up with the puck. Circles back to the point. We talk about that free-flowing offense. Potzloff, it's knocked away. Kriketsi turns it over, and a big glove save. What an opportunity for Piku Roger. Full pressure here for Straikers. Bavatu able to clear.
Yeah, smart play right there. You know, last season they probably would have tried to counterattack, maybe created a 2-on-1, 2-on-2 scenario, but they had full pressure against them. They just softly sauced that one out. Careful now. It was a great poke from Leighton and nearly started him going all alone the other way.
He's always so dangerous, even in these shorthanded scenarios. 15 seconds left on the power play. They score! What a feed from Eki. It's Potzloff in front. 3 unanswered for Straikers, and this game is tied.
Unbelievable turn of events. Both teams now making the other pay for their mistakes. Power play goal earlier for Tunnel Vision. Now, power play goal for Straikers to tie this game up. Somehow finds its way. Looked like between the arm and body right there, and then trickles in. But what vision right there. Threading that needle between 2 defenders to hit Potzloff, who wastes no time ripping that one on. Tie game here in the third.
Unbelievable comeback here. I mean, you don't expect Tunnel Vision to necessarily give up a lead like that, but against a team like Straikers, indeed, you never count them out. So let's see what the response is now from Tunnel Vision. Sustelia has trouble. Vatu able to strip him of the puck. Short side. Good glove save there by Nike.
Yeah, excellent recovery defense from Flyer Kungen there as well, racing over to cover the pass.
As Eki's feed up ahead, no icing, fought on for, and one back, a good save there. Great effort from Piku Roger on the forecheck. Wenger for Vatu, Kriketsi. New center for this team, D-to-D pass here. Wenger gets it through, paddled away. Sustelia for Flyer Kungen. Got there by Tunnel Vision to shut down the blue line. And in response, Straikers able to keep them out, but only momentarily. It's Vatu on the net drive. Loose puck. Somehow doesn't go. What a chance for Kriketsi.
I'm still shaking my head. I'm trying to figure out how that stayed out. Looks like not too sure. I haven't run into the passing glitch at all, but he played that out of play on purpose, it seemed.
Regardless, at the stop, we continue on exactly halfway through the period here. Next goal could very well be the winner. Again, what a turn of events. A 3-0 lead for Tunnel Vision has evaporated as they continue to look, I don't want to say disorganized at this stage, but not nearly as efficient as they were through those opening 20 minutes that saw them establish that huge lead. Hawk fed in front. Potzloff. Wenger was able to pick that one off at the last second. Able to find Leitinen. Loose puck corralled yet again. Short side attempt. Gets you to Vatu. Better movement there, but again, the defensive stick work for Straikers. Paying off. Here's Eki across for Piku Roger. A great save. Been able to keep that one out. Vatu across. Good stop in response by Nikkei, as the goaltender's getting locked in here throughout the third period.
Yes, they absolutely are. And I mean, offense not necessarily tough to come by for either of these two teams. Goals neither for that matter, but both goaltenders have had to make tough saves throughout this game.
Cycled back to the point. Nasu Stelia can't get the shot through. 4.5 minutes left in regulation. And with that new point structure, there is the emphasis to get these wins in regulation.
Mm-hmm.
See what happens here. Becky trying to find Potzloff, just couldn't get that pickup. So Stelia able to take it away yet again. And Straikers find that fourth unanswered goal. Piku Roger, the centering feed, gets it back. The legs pass intercepted. This one goes all the way down. No icing. We approach the final minute. Again, the time of the final minute has been cut in half. As Eki in the corner. Back to the point. Flyer Kugan Eki. Good opportunity from an odd angle, and a puck goes all the way down. Right as Straikers were building up that full momentum in the dying moments of the period. Eki takes a big hit. Nasu Stelia, he's out of gas. Leitinen able to make a play on the puck. Vatu there with him. Leitinen tried that 5-hole tuck. Nikkei was there, but still plenty of time for tunnel vision to work with.
Yeah, 6.7 seconds, and Kriketsi has done a great job on the draws. That was a massive hit by Tumbo right there. No hip check needed, just stick back and forth right there, and Eki shaking up a bit.
Here we go, 6.7 on the clock. Celia has it. And that will do it for regulation. Still an amazing comeback effort by Straikers, but still points to play for here. We got to look at a great glove save.
Yeah, it's just monstrous right there on the side of Bennu right there in tight opportunity. And again, both goaltenders have had to make some big saves. You know, you look at a score line like this between these two teams, and in the past you maybe think, okay, maybe the goalies aren't quite on their game, but you know, that's just the difference, that one iteration of a game to another, right? This is definitely more tilted in the way of forechecking, creating more offense, no shots, a bad shot, and things like that. And you could see it from the shot totals from both of these teams. I mean, Tunnel Vision especially was one of those teams at times who never seemed to want to just throw that puck on the net. They would oftentimes end the game sub 10 shots and, you know, still able to get 3-4 goals to their credit here. And so it's definitely some adjustment from them here. And that's exactly what we've been looking for here. You know, early on into this ECL season from 23 to 24. Okay, you know, how did the teams adjust? And you know, I've definitely, there's never been a dull moment in this game so far. We'll see how overtime looks and feels.
Again, it is 3 points for the regulation win, which neither team will be able to get, but Potzloff secures 2 for Straikers. What a comeback in the season opener. From 3-0 down, they take it 4-3 in overtime.
4 unanswered goals from Straikers. That last one, really a thing of beauty. Again, what were we just saying? No shot is necessarily a bad shot, especially when you get traffic in front. I love this play. Delay by Piku Roger and waits for Potzloff to get in front. He also had the option to kick it off to, I believe that would be the Nasu Stelia on that left point right there for a one-time look as well, but he had the time, he had the space, ripped that on with Potzloff in front. He deflects it home, completing the comeback, and what looked like it could have been disastrous in the first period for Straikers turns into heroics in overtime, a 4-3 win.
I mean, just what a comeback effort that was. Almost out of nowhere, you want to say. It was such a dominant first period for Tunnel Vision, but
10
Strikers
shots to 1, yeah.
find the way to battle back. And
or wait, no,
I mean,
that
talk
was...
about the effect that it could have for the second game. I mean, just a crazy, crazy comeback.
Yeah, games, I'm already in mid-season 4, games are starting to bleed into each other. That 10-1 shot line was from our previous series here, but nonetheless, it felt like that at times after that first period from Tunnel Vision with those 3 goals that they were able to get. But, I mean, what a day of ECL action it's been, and we still, fortunately, have one more game to go, man. It's been a treat.
We got to look back here at the winning goal from Potzloff. It was great hesitation by Piku Rogers, sneaks that puck towards goal. Potzloff, the deflection in front. We know Potzloff loves a good deflection in front too. He has been so good at that over the past couple of iterations of the game. And it will indeed be 2 points for Strikers. Tunnel Vision do get the 1 point for the overtime loss, but, yeah, there we go. Almost. Again, the Strikers name, still something we're getting used to at this stage.
Yes.
You catch yourself even if you didn't actually make a mistake. But at the end of the day, as Sin mentioned, that's just one game down. We still have one more to go on this broadcast, so we'll be right back. It is the second game, Tunnel Vision and Strikers, coming up.
Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi. Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi.
All right, everybody. Game one in the books between Strikers and Tunnel Vision as we get ready here for the second game. Last time we'll see these two teams meet, unless they happen to run into one another during the playoffs. But then I can tell you right now, I think I'd already enjoy a 7-game series between these two after that first game. Again, Tunnel Vision, a 3-0 lead after 20 minutes, but Strikers take it 4-3 in overtime.
Yeah, just a tremendous effort from them to swing that momentum and get to the way that they want to play. And we saw that, time and time again. The second they really, it just seemingly flipped a switch right there. And all of a sudden the offense started coming in droves. Their zone entries were cleaner. They're breaking the puck out with more efficiency, and Tunnel Vision didn't seem to have that big of a response. Their transition game wasn't working. It was excellent job by both Flyer Klingen and Nasustelia, particularly on the transitions, to switch when they needed to and cover that guy on the cross crease, which we know that Tunnel Vision loved to throw at you, and it just simply wasn't there in those final 2 frames.
We'll see what happens and what the response happens to be from Tunnel Vision after that one. Again, looks like you have the game in the bag. Doesn't happen. Now they need a decent response here. But of course, we've talked about it. It is a relatively long season, 30 games, or 30 games to be played, of course. 2 games against every single team. And again, the new point structure, one of those things that might get you looking at, a little bit, twice, 3 times, maybe even 4 times to figure out what is going on. But of course, the new point structure that has been implemented, 3 points for a regulation win, 2 for an overtime win, and you get 1 point for an overtime loss. And of course, nothing if you lose in regulation. So it's going to take some getting used to throughout this season, is seeing the changes to the point structure that, again, will take a little bit of getting used to, especially if you've been around for a good amount of time, or like Sin and I now going on, what is this, our 7th, 8th season, 9th? I don't even know, man. We've been here for a while at this point. So, every once in a while you got to throw in something to get, something just worth, taking a second look at. But as we take a second look at the builds here in the lobby, again, Sim, we talked about that double sniper setup for Eki and Piku Rogers seemed to work out pretty well beyond the first period of that first game. Very intrigued to see kind of what happens here and how this plays out now, knowing, again, some valuable points up for grabs. These two teams both have their sights set on that top seed.
Oh, absolutely. And what I really love about a player running a gold 1T as well is we once again want to remind you guys about McSavid's goaltender school here with SportsGamer. If you're a goaltender looking to improve upon your game, McSavid has been one of the best goaltenders in the ECL Elite for such a long time. He'll be running that, and you can find the info for that on the website. But one of the things that I love about the gold 1T is it's one of those things where I think it creates so much threat that you have to pay attention to it, and it can open up other things on the ice as well. You're so used to seeing gold elite edges all the way across the board that when someone's running that gold 1T, you're obviously going to be cognizant of those one-timers. We saw Eki take one-timer in that one and didn't even score off of it, but the threat's always there.
Of course, it is Tunnel Vision in their road whites. And a unique look for Strikers. A look unto their own. Sustelia pinching in offensively here. They get down low, finds Piku Roger. Still has it again. We talked about that free-flowing offense. Anybody at any time can jump up. 4 Strikers, and Tunnel Vision not that far off as Tombo led the way. Got a shot on there, stopped by Nike. Battled on, lighting in for Vatu in front. They score. Second game in a row that Tunnel Vision strike first, and it's off of some great work down low by Leitinen.
Yeah, just Beautiful job holding on to that puck through the pressure and good puck battling. And Vatu somehow all alone sitting right there on top of the blue paint right there. Not quite picked up. You can see, I think that's Potts. Yeah, Potts off right there, looking like he could have been in position for an intercept, but he pokes at that last second, which allows that pass to get through cleanly. 1-0 here for Tunnel Vision.
Potzloff over to Eki. Again, the opening goal of the game for Tunnel Vision. They might not be done. Vatu down low, tried to go short side and nearly got Nikke off that post.
Yeah, really good decision by Vatu right there. You know, that you have a memory of the goals that go in on you. So Nikke maybe thinking about that puck going to the other side and a pass coming out. So Vatu thinking he's going to jump off that post early, testing the short side. There's a shot on that Nikke sticks away and plays it out. Got to be careful.
Works out this time, though. Piku Roger works off the physicality. Blue line, pass off the mark. Yeah, what Straikers can do. Try to get back into this one and certainly won't want to look to be down 3-0 in a game. Alone through 20 minutes. Offside call here. Happens on this draw. It was a great start in that first game for Kriketsi, the new centerman for Tunnel Vision. They get another face-off win here. Of course, Kriketsi, longtime leader of Goons and someone who played defense quite a bit. I think was someone who was trying to really kind of fill in wherever he thought his teammates would be best. It's like, okay, I'll play whatever else is open. Now we're really being able to see what he can do at center. And, of course, getting a centerman who can win the lion's share of the draw is so important in a league like this. Here's Piku Roger, drops back, flyer Kungan, tried to get that shot through. Vatu can go with it, has Leitinen up ahead, taken away once more by Piku Roger. But again, Straikers not able to keep the puck for all that long. They do finally get it.
Yeah, the neutral zone right now is being, the battle's being won by Tunnel Vision. They're putting themselves in great position time and time again in those passing lanes, or right in front of the guy who they think that puck is going to. And, you know, twice in a row, there was passed to a man and Tunnel Vision was all over that, forcing that turnover once again. And that neutral zone is such an important battleground here in the game of sixes.
Stelia has this one. See that forechecking pressure being amplified just a bit here by Tunnel Vision as they tried to get it. Nearly left them open down the other way. There's a physicality from Wenger. Loose puck, though, recovered. Kungan for Eki. And not much doing for Straikers there. This one should go down for icing, and it does.
So important offensive zone draw. But as we mentioned, Kriketsi has been doing such a good job in the face-off circle. And right now, Tunnel Vision, the monstrous lead in hits, 12-3.
Surprising, too, because it feels like they've had more of the puck. Eki, a shot there. Hit by Bennu. Kungan a shot as well. Good pressure here. Now full pressure, in fact. Loose puck. Piku Roger across. They score. The first bit of sustained pressure for Straikers in the game, and they take advantage. What a feed by Piku Roger, and it's Potzloff potting another one.
I mean, yeah, just absolutely beautiful. It's the temptation, if you get the puck right there, to just press up on that right stick and let a shot go. You never know, especially with the full pressure there, but a beautiful between the legs pass right into the slot, and it's Potzloff who picks it up. Just beautifully done right there. Numbers down low for Straikers, and they tie this game up.
Becky finds Potzloff. Straikers have consistently found ways to battle back despite giving up goals. And we'll see what the response happens to be from Tunnel Vision. Rogers uses the boards to find Eki. At his steam into the attacking zone. Drops back for flyer Kungan. D2D one-timer saved by Bennu. But a deflection bid there in front.
Yeah, good net crash play right there, but Tombo had great position, is able to keep Eki boxed out to the outside and get that loose puck.
Kriketsi tried to get that one towards goal, couldn't do it. Eki takes a hit, Leitinen keeps it in. Kriketsi for Vatu, good patience. Gave the defense time to collapse though. Final 20 seconds. Kriketsi in front, picked off by Potzloff. Numbers here perhaps for Straikers in the closing moment of the first. Eki's pass off the mark. As Kriketsi will kill the clock. A goal apiece through the opening 20 minutes. Another comeback effort here for Straikers.
Yeah, and we're seeing a little footage of Lightning. We'll see if this is a... Oh, yeah, just a big hit over there in the corner. That was indeed the one I was thinking of in the neutral zone. You know, huge impact in the neutral zone from tunnel vision, especially in the first part of that period there. They were forcing a lot of turnovers there and completely stopping the transition game of Straikers here, but weren't able to turn it into anything more than one goal. So again, pretty even stat line here in this game so far. That goal, though, really a thing of beauty right there. Kind of pulled everyone out of position from that battle in the corner, and Potzloff really kind of had to make some kind of play right there, or else that short side opportunity was right there for Lightning. He's probably one of the better players, maybe one of the best, I would say, in the Elite Division at scoring goals in tight right there. So he's always a threat down low. That response goal, again, beautiful pass from Piku Roger, but still tie game here, 1-1. We head into the second period.
As always, the action brought to you by our friends at Kovalan Lakritsi. ECL Elite Division action as we kick off a brand new season here on this broadcast. Of course, SportsGamer.gg for all the most up-to-date information, as you can follow along with the Elite Division and more all season long. Of course, tomorrow in this same exact time slot, it'll be Sin and B Major following the opening broadcast for our Pro Division, our second tier. Crowning a champion there will result in them being in the Elite Division for our spring season in early 2024. Way to mid 2024. Define early. Potzloff in control here. Eki, double team pressure. Potzloff still has it. Nearly found Piku Roger, who does have the puck. And hold on to it.
Yeah, it's a lot harder for Straikers in this game to maintain offensive zone possession. Good aggression coming out from tunnel vision. There's a missed one-touch pass from Tombo will force them to reset all the way back in their own end.
Down the other way. Not much happening there. Trying to break through the neutral zone. Here's Piku Roger. In front for Potzloff. Good bit of contact. Here's Eki. He scores! A rare mistake of that caliber for Bennu. Lost sight of the puck. And Eki's able to find the back of the net, and Straikers have the lead.
Yeah, it seemed like almost a nothing play right there, as, you know, that pass to the front, it was bobbled and then just went into the goaltender. Potzloff made contact as well. Then Eki just turns around and sees, well, half the net is available to him. Definitely not something that we're accustomed to seeing out of Bennu, but yeah, maybe just lost sight of the puck right there as he tried to make the adjustment back. It looked like a butterfly slide that just kind of went awry right there. Nonetheless, Straikers up by 1.
First lead in regulation of this matchup today. Outscoring Tunnel Vision now 6-1 outside of the first period of that first game. Not what it was looking like the numbers were going to be. 3-on-2 developing here for Tunnel Vision. Good poke check. Stops Wenger. Does throw a shot on. That one's stopped by Nike. Gungan for Eki. Trying to hold that puck. Good physicality there from Vatu to knock it loose. Wenger has it stripped away from him. Piku Roger has the positioning and just couldn't finish on the backhand short side. Didn't have the speed or stamina advantage as that shot from Eki's blocked, but a great effort by Piku Roger. Eki. Poked away by Vatu. Wenger back for Kriketsi. Good patience. Battled on for in the corner. Straikers who come up with it again under 7 minutes to go. That pass just out of the range of Piku Roger And it goes for an icing.
Yeah, just going back in time a little bit to that Piku Roger chance. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. He realized he didn't have the stamina advantage, so instead of just continuing to try to straight line, he moved over to his right-hand side to just get pure body position, which allowed him to get that shot away.
Potzloff going to be offside there off that attempted pass. Seen quite a few offsides. Both these two teams really good at controlling the blue line, stopping those clean zone entries more often than not. Against one another, obviously. Be a little bit more difficult to continue that trap game, but good job there again by Wenger. Accepted by Piku Roger, poked away, so Straikers do have to reset. Piku Roger off the spin, couldn't hold it. Leitonen, head of steam down the other way. Great job there, though, by Nasu Stelia. Just held him up and then stripped him of the puck. Piku Roger avoids the hip check. Toe drag, loose puck, nearly swept in. Eki, the odd angle one-timer. That's blocked by Wenger. Eki tried to go in front. Tombo there to take it away. Leitonen for Vatu. Tried to square up and get a shot on. Riketsi. Back to the captain. D pass. A little bit dangerous. Wenger's shot. Deflection attempt. Stifled. Another pass off the mark. Foot race is going to be won by Piku Roger across, and they score. Eki has another one as Piku Roger, back in the Elite Division, hasn't lost a step.
Absolutely not. That was just beautiful. And, he was the weak side winger in that situation, leaving the zone quite early right there, which opened that up. Eki kind of stopped skating, which made that first pass miss the mark here, but it turned out to be fortuitous because Piku Roger was all the way up the ice there and just sent that across to Eki, who with blazing speed got back into that play and is rewarded with a goal. 3-1 now for Straikers. They're looking good.
Wenger had poke checked there instead of playing the lane. Gave the space for the pass to get through. Speaking of the pass, great one-time look for Vatu, but a good stop there by Nike. Crucial save with under 3 seconds left in this period.
Yeah, and he's getting sharper and sharper as this 2-game set continues to be underway here. Good face-off win for Potzloff. No last chance for Tunnel Vision here at the tail end of this period, but Straikers really kind of flexing their guns in every single zone of the ice here, and they maybe start off slow in both of these games. Obviously, in the first one, you allow 3 first period goals, but then come back to win 4-3 in OT. This one, they allowed the first goal again, but it didn't take them as long to find their form. Tunnel Vision came at them strong, and then Straikers just had to settle in a little bit, and since then, they've really been taking it to Tunnel Vision, kind of using their transition game against them, really. I mean, their blue line stand has been incredible. When Tunnel Vision's rushing with speed, the defense of Straikers is making that play and then getting a transition of their own here. And while they don't have, the dominance in the numbers necessarily, they're getting far greater of the scoring chances in this one, and more importantly, capitalizing on them as well.
We get ready here for the third period. A big 20 minutes here for really both of these clubs, but especially here too for Tunnel Vision, what it looked like this set of games could have been. It has really gotten away from them. Here's Piku Roger, upended by Wenger. We talked about the change in the lineup for both of these two teams and kind of who would adapt a little bit earlier against such tough competition. Slow start for Straikers, but done a great job in their response. Wenger's offside there. Complete miscommunication for Tunnel Vision on that attempted break-in.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that they didn't quite look like they were all on the same page right there, and maybe someone got held up or held in as they were looking across the line, but nonetheless, yeah, Tunnel Vision a little bit out of sorts here. Need to find their game again and find it quickly. They need to erase a 2-goal deficit, and this Straikers team with the new look Nike in goal, that's going to be a tall order for Tunnel Vision.
There's Flyer Kungan trying to break through. Nearly did. Taken out in the corner. Straikers still in possession, but Flyer Kungan still down on the ice, doing a good job of maintaining the zone, but just 4 active players. Flyer Kungan back to his feet. Eki at the point, can't get the shot through. Bodavatu has some space to work with. Toe drag, loses it down low. Leitinen for Kriketsi. And back down low. Off to that far side corner. Wenger can't keep it in. Iku Roger takes the hit, 2-on-1. Nasu Stelia tried to take it to the house. The right play. Tombo had read that 1T pass. You'd expect the defender more often than not to pass, but back pressure got to him. Vatu saucing it towards goal, and Nikkei able to cover.
Yeah, where Straikers is finding so much of their success right now is from puck support. There's usually a trailer or someone very close by in the offensive zone for support. We saw that when Flyer Kungan was down in the zone. Nasu Stelia hopped up in support to keep that play alive.
And a shot and a goal. Guess what the doctor ordered out of nowhere there for tunnel vision as they get set up in the zone, and Kriketsi has his first for his new club off the deflected 1T.
Yeah, just great play, you know, keeping it simple up top, a give and go between the defenders, a quick shot, and great positioning by Kriketsi there in the high slot. No one near him, not impeded whatsoever, getting that deflection off, and it's now just a 1-goal game here with still about half a period to go.
Another set play off a Kriketsi O-zone win as well. Worked out for them in game 1. Now they're back to within 1 here. Kriketsi the opportunity. Eki to Potzloff up ahead. Piku Roger has some space to work with. Tried the short side. Goaltender didn't give it up. Passed it out as well to send tunnel vision down the other way quickly. Batu, great passing here from tunnel vision. They score. Kriketsi has another one. We are tied at 3. An incredibly fast turnaround.
Yeah, and traded places essentially in this game. Now it's Tunnel Vision who are the ones coming back. No lead is safe between these two teams. That's just excellent work, just driving to the net right there. I love that delay from Vatu there, high in the zone, knowing that he has support coming from that from Tombo there on the left defense. Sends it over to him. They work it down low and then in front. Tie game here with 10 minutes to go.
Leitinen tried to work his way through. Back and forth action between these two clubs. Living up to the hype heading into this season. Iku Roger bumped off of that puck. It goes all the way back towards the striker zone. Good for Potzloff. Circles back. Emphasis on possession of the Flyer Kungan's pass off the mark. Ambo going to carry this one all the way into the attacking zone. Can't get it through Piku Roger. Still has it. Gains the line. Finds Eki. Couldn't hold it through the pressure. 48 total hits, I believe that says now. For tunnel vision, what a great stop by Nikkei. The post-to-post effort. Here's Leitinen. Eki able to recover. Now Piku Roger. Flyer Kungan, a good stop there. Roger again and again. The physicality from tunnel vision paying off. 51 hits now. And we've seen a few examples where striker players are down in the zone trying to recover. And might lead to some strategy changes throughout the season. Pots off to Piku Roger. Good stop again. Another opportunity. That one taken away. Leitinen gets up to Vatu. Delayed call here against Straikers. Kriketsi lofts it in front. Extra attacker nearly out. I'd imagine if he's going to the bench, what a chance for Vatu. Has Bennu gone to the bench? I don't think he has. He would have gotten there by now. You'd think they would have wanted the extra attacker. Full pressure. Vatu on net. Tombo back across. It's picked off. And with 18 seconds to go, it'll be Nasu Stelia to the box.
I mean, that's a hold your breath moment if I've ever seen it. Delayed penalty and tunnel vision throwing everything they can at Straikers right there to try to pick up that extra point. Yeah, just an unfortunate kind of spinning animation there while holding that defensive skill stick. I thought initially that he was going to go for the hit or for the bump right there at the line, and he didn't actually do that. So that's where the call came from. I thought I might have missed it, but yeah, seeing that replay, it was this one. Yeah, right there. Just with the delayed penalty, the second they kind of got full pressure, just so many good chances. That one as well. Somehow Nikke gets the blocker on it.
A great opportunity here for Tunnel Vision to reverse their fortunes from what we saw in game one, not able to hold on to the lead. Would be the same story here for Straikers in game two. Combo to Vatu, good save. Flyer Kungen not able to clear the zone. Kriketsi has it poked away. Wenger, 5 seconds. Wenger to Kriketsi. Kriketsi across, loose puck, they score! Leitinen is the hero with 1 second left in regulation. 3 points secured for Tunnel Vision. The power play goal, the comeback effort.
Oh man, that puck has to clear the zone right there. Just a little bit too soft of a play from Flyer Kungen, opting for the sauce out of the zone instead of just trying to rifle it or float it above the heads. And that's what it can lead to right there. In the dying seconds, Tunnel Vision able to capitalize just with chaos in front of the goal. 4-3 in regulation. So a huge 3 points from Tunnel Vision and denying any points for Straikers there. And that's just unfortunate, but what a come from behind victory from Tunnel Vision.
Despite that game one loss, it ends up being a better night for Tunnel Vision on the scoreboard than it is for Straikers. And back and forth games on both occasions, a big comeback. But indeed, a big mistake for Straikers at the end of this game. Cost them at least a point, if not a little bit more. As Tunnel Vision, again, reversed the roles, and 4-3 your final score for the second game in a row, and 2 unpredictable games, to say the least, between 2 of the best this division has to offer. But again, 52 hits the final counts as well.
I think they're counting those bumps. Yeah, like I think bumps are different to the point where this year they're a bit more powerful than they have been in previous seasons because they wanted to add that
an own goal at the end. I don't know if we can get a
no.
replay of their replay from our producer here, or if we can ask them to look at it again. It looked like it was an own goal at the end. We'll see if we can pass that message along, but it looked like it was indeed an own goal right there at the end as well, which tough break.
That adds, yeah, I mean, that's just that's 3 really bad mistakes, breaks, whatever you want to call them for Straikers. You know, initially the penalty, it wasn't maybe the most ideal situation for Nasacelia to be poking or holding that defensive skill stick out. The second mistake, hate to call out a legend, but Flyer Kungen has to get that puck out of the zone in that scenario. He had all kinds of time, and he did a saucer pass off the backhand that Tombo kept in. And then, yeah, chaos in front and an own goal. And I'm hoping we are going to get another look at it. The message has been passed on to them, so I hope we do indeed get another look at it. But nonetheless, own goal or not, that's a completely avoidable scenario. And good job by Tunnel Vision for capitalizing on that and getting that huge regulation win.
And I believe here it is. Obviously, we didn't get too much of a look at it. It backed up pretty quickly. Indeed, we might not see it. I feel like we can trust our eyes on that one. It did look like a defender on an attempted pickup was the one who batted that one home. Is what it is at the end of the day. What a result there for Tunnel Vision. 4 points for the overtime loss and a regulation win. Straikers walk away with just the 2 points for winning game 1 in overtime. So again, a big night for Tunnel Vision to kick things off. 4 out of 6 points. You got to be happy about that. against the team the caliber of Straikers, especially with that comeback effort in game 1 and then their own comeback effort in game 2.
Yeah, just short memories really for both of those teams, right? You know, they just tried to keep playing the way that they know that they can play, and what has given them some success, I'm sure, throughout all their practice so far in 24, and a split of the series. But splits are obviously going to be much different with this new points format here. And yeah, as you said, you know, Tunnel Vision coming out on the upper hand of things, 3 points to no, sorry, excuse me, 4 points total from the night, as opposed to just the 2 of Strikers. So that's an enormous series for them.
So with that, of course, I don't know if we have the fully updated look at the standings. Of course, you can always go to sportsgamer.gg for that information as it is posted. But again, our season kicked off here tonight. And again, the action is not done over the next few days, but you get a look there at the standings, with most teams having played at least their season opening series. Of course, still waiting for some of the results to be filed in. But again, 30 games, top 8 teams make the playoffs. The wild race towards the postseason is underway. But of course, not just in the Elite Division, the Pro Division as well. Make sure to tune in tomorrow for our first broadcast there, as Sin and B Major will be covering these 2 highlighted matchups. Look forward to that, certainly. And of course, Sin and I will be right back here on Wednesday as well for more Elite Division action as we continue to cover the season all season long. So you're not going to want to miss the next 2 days of action here from us at SportsGamer. Make sure to tune in. Of course, as always, it is sportsgamer.gg for all the information that you need. SportsGamer.gg on socials as well. Make sure to follow us there if you haven't already. Make sure to drop a follow on this channel if you haven't already done so as well. You can catch me on the Bird app. We still call it Twitter around these parts, at Tuki24, Sin at Sin for the Win Prod, and of course on YouTube at Sin for the Win Productions as well. Sim, with that, closing word will go to you, because why not, as we kick off a new season. But this was a fun one.
I mean, I love the beginning of a new game cycle, and I love seeing the pros try to figure out, or basically establish that meta. And I'm loving seeing just how much chaos can come from the transitions. And I mean, this was exciting as heck, and I'm so looking forward to the rest of this season.
With that, everybody, we will see you tomorrow for some Pro Division action. Thanks for watching.
Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi.